Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast, and I assure you that that's all we will be talking about on the stream after a very interesting pre-show that has our guest already laughing because of what's being talked about in the chat at the moment. But this week we decided, instead of a 2-week spoiler embargo, how about just a 1-week one? Because,
that
well...
was the original idea.
No.
It was.
No. It was the idea. It was about an idea about 5 minutes after we decided not to talk about the story last week.
I even said 2 weeks was too much.
You said that, all right, but it was decided.
I thought 1 week was too much.
Yeah, well, we know you do. Speaking of which,
yes.
So let me introduce our hosts real quick. Hi. I am one of your hosts, Michael Mr. Happy Poveromo. Joining me, of course, as he does every week, is Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyh, aka Greyfox, aka Slyh, aka Buffalo, aka you, my boy Blue. How you doing over there, my man?
Don't get me started on this Buffalo shit. That wasn't me. That was all you. That wasn't me.
I'm passing. I'm passing blame. Don't worry.
I had no parts in that. No parts.
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
You're doing excellente. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Leave me hanging just because speaking Spanish. Yeah. Okay.
Terrible Spanish.
No, it's great Spanish. Anyway, and joining us. No, let's not Google Translate that. Anyway, and of course, joining us for a lore-based segment, story, whatever you want to call it. Even though he was here last week, and he's only supposed to be here once a month. I don't know what he's really doing here this week, to be honest. Is Ethys Asher. You guys have many nicknames for him. I'll leave those to the chat to type them out because, well, there's a lot of them.
Start the nickname roll for it.
Yeah.
Minuteman, Moonman. I'm sure there's other ones. Ethys Down Under Asher. Any of those would work. That could actually be a good nickname for you. I like that one.
Oh.
That's too simple.
Okay, Mr. Slyh, aka Greyfox over there. Too simple. All right, fine. I'll make it more complicated. Moonman will be his permanent nickname. Got it. Especially after this patch, because like we're going. Anyway, so on that note, yeah. Well, don't worry. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. So on that note, this week we're going to be covering the story. The one thing we didn't get to cover last week, really, and the only thing Ethys did before last week's show. He was like perfect when they go to talk about the story. I'll be. Oh.
Nope.
And then he couldn't grade anything. He couldn't speak about anything. He's like, yeah, I have an opinion.
But
we
can.
Have you done?
We can.
Before we even go into the story, I gotta ask, since you didn't do anything but the story last week, have you done the other stuff?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done everything except for my sightseeing log, actually.
Wow, that's one thing I expected you to prioritize.
Yeah.
Some story behind that. We could have talked about that this week.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know what the logs are. Like I've looked through them. I just haven't personally done it yet.
Oh, okay. Then it's fine. You don't need to do them then. It doesn't matter. You're good to go.
Sure I do.
Yeah. As someone who did the original 80, let me just tell you, no, you don't. You don't need them done. Trust me. Not worth it. So we're going to talk about some of the different story aspects of the patch. The two big ones, of course, being the new main scenario quests and the Void Arc. If we have any other little tidbits Ethys wants to throw in, I know he usually has some things that we never even think of. First off, I kind of see what people were talking about. It was really short. Like, I was like, oh, it's over. That was really good for what it was. Huh.
Yeah, you see what we mean.
It was a lot more. I still think my statement holds true. It was just more substance it was the same substance in a shorter period of time. I felt that way still at the end of it.
Yeah.
There was less of this. There was just less of that thing where it's just like, by the way, this other problem that only is going to happen for this patch is here, and there's going to be 2 cutscenes on the entire thing. We're going to take that out.
Yeah, I suppose. But, I mean, were you expecting things to happen that didn't happen?
I expected more to happen with certain things. And we'll talk about those when we get to them. But the thing is, this was a patch with a lot of big story points, even just little tiny details that are massive hints towards what's going to be happening in the future, even looking, in my thoughts, all the way to 4.0. So let's jump right off into talking about some of the characters and their involvements. First off, Krile.
And he hates saying it.
I hate it. It's cool. Okay, I got it seriously. We had this conversation. Krillin and Krill. Krillin is Kururin, Krill is Kururu. Am I wrong in thinking that I was expecting it to be Krill and not Krile?
I mean, I think everybody thought
Krill. I was saying Krill.
Everybody was saying Krill.
Maybe they just want to mistake it for a crustacean. I don't like shellfish, like shellfish. I don't know. Just it really bothers me that we have to call her Krile or we're being incorrect.
Do you think it's just strictly a dialect thing?
I hope not. No, they all call her Krile because, and I guess they all speak the same dialect.
Krile.
Yeah, they all do.
They're all Charlene.
Yeah, so whatever. Krile, Krill, I'll accept either or just because I hate that name. It's like Diadem and Diadem. I really want to call it the Diadem over and over again. What do we think about her entrance into the main story? I
like her. She's spicy.
Yeah, she's definitely spicy.
Yeah, she's a Lalafell with attitude. I like her. She was cracking jokes on Alphino. Yeah, she just fits. This is what I wasn't expecting of Krill. I wasn't expecting her to have this type of personality. Then again, it was kind of hard to gauge Krill's personality in Final Fantasy
5.
5, excuse me. I like her.
Ethys?
Yeah, Sly's got the right of it. Spicy buffalo potato ball.
I wanted to say it, but I didn't say it. No, he's not. Is that your basketball thing, like swish?
No, that's the long distance high five. No.
So what do you think about Krile at this?
Oh God.
Well, you know how I feel about Lalafels. I reckon she's in the top 5. Lalafels.
Top 5 worst or best? And I don't know which one's
top 5 best. Top 5 best. Yeah.
All right.
And that's like really fucking high praise coming from me. She's the kind of character that we sort of need. Because the Scions, they're all like, I don't know, they're just, yeah, no, not so much that they're stoic, but there's just very little repartee apart from between like Ida and Papalimo. And given that they're already such two-dimensional characters, there's none of that sort of dialectic conflict to sort of make the characters more interesting. Whereas I think we learn more about and we sort of progress the character of Alphino more just in that short little discourse between the two of them than we have, you know, almost across the rest of the game. And I think that's great. And if she's going to, I guess, drive that sort of those sort of interactions and that sort of character progression for the other characters, I reckon that's a really good thing, and that's a sort of really interesting mechanism for them to take. So, yeah, I reckon she's great.
The only thing I'm afraid of, the last time we got a spicy character was in Moonbrita. And we got the exact same amount of kind of introduction to her as a character. We learned a little bit more about Rodion J in Space of Alpha. No, they killed her a patch later. So I'm hoping that next patch Krile isn't dead already for once.
I think Krile is a little bit more hard than Moonbrita. I mean, she's survived the destruction of the Isle of Val.
Yeah, and on top of that, Krile's been talked about since even before Moonbrita was a thing.
So you're saying Moonbrita's soft?
Yeah, she's soft as hell.
I'm not saying that Moonbrita's soft. I'm saying that Moonbrita didn't have the fucking blessing of light, did she?
Yeah.
No.
Which is a kind of an interesting thing, because students of Baldesion, she implied they almost all, if not absolutely all of them, possess the Echo.
Yes, that was the implication, that they're a collection of Charlanes that all possess the Echo, and that is how she got in contact with Minfilia, and that's why Minfilia has had this long sort of contact with the students of Baldesion since right back to 2.0, is that they sort of identified her as someone with the Echo, and saw that she was trying to set up a kind of similar organization to what, to what they were doing.
Yeah, just not, except only one other person with the Echo around there. Needed one other at the very least with the Scions. And it kind of leads me to think, one of the biggest things about 3.0 was establishing us as sort of like this insanely unique character with all of this infinite power. And it seems like in one patch later, they pretty much just brought a bunch of other people up to or near our level, whether that be in combat status or in the gifts that they have.
So are you just mad that we're not special anymore?
Well, no, I think this is actually, a lot of people wanted this. They wanted our character to kind of show that they weren't just this dauntless hero, that they were sort of still in some way mortal. And
so in a way, humanizing
the main character of the story.
I see what you're saying.
Or at least making it so we're not just this crazy unique. It makes other characters seem a little bit more impactful next to our accomplishments.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that, because if there's one thing I really like, I would say have a problem with, it's, you know, this whole story armor kind of thing where, you know, you're the main character, you are pretty much close to God. You can do anything you want. You are special. And yeah, I kind of like it that they took us down a peg and like, you're not the only one. You're not special anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about story armor, but how many cutscenes did you find? I mean, even just in this patch, but, you know, particularly in like Before the Fall Part 2, where you felt like you couldn't do anything and you're like, well, hang on, I'm the badass warrior of light. Why am I putting up with this sort of thing?
The only thing I wonder that about is when people say carry this fish over to the other person who has the fish over there. That's the only time I ever wonder why. I'm the fucking warrior of light. Why the fuck? Walk over there. Literally,
He's 5 feet away.
He's 5 feet away. Go give him the
right
fish
there.
yourself.
Right
I'm
there.
too busy. I'm too busy standing here waiting for other people to come by to give them fish.
Or can you talk to this person who's like, dude, he's 3 feet away from you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but you're supposed to, that's the idea of your characters, that you're supposed to be modest, you're supposed to be, you know, man or woman of the people, and nothing is below.
There's a difference between modesty and there's a difference between fucking laziness. I'm sorry.
You know who's not lazy? You know who's not lazy? Boxman. That guy is not lazy at all.
He never gives in.
He never gives in. We have Rockman now in Idleshire as well. It's okay. So, with all the students about Destiny and with all this stuff, there's one character who they just refuse to refer to at all when it comes to Krile, and that's Goof. I am getting really sick of them dodging saying his name, because now I'm absolutely convinced that he is going to hold some sort of increased importance. Perhaps come back after, you know, Isle of Val, he turns up missing, but he has his memory lost, you know, from the disaster. I have a feeling they're really going to ride this whole Krile Goof thing into the not the X-Death story, but into their own kind of interpretation of Final Fantasy V's events. Is there a reason? Why? Because they call him old man, grandfather, him. Just they're playing the name game, and it bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you guys.
Can we lock this prediction down that Goof memory loss, and we got to find a way to get it back? Or are we locking this prediction in?
I am, at the very least. I'm absolutely locking that in. I'm 100% convinced that's going to happen.
I don't think
100% convinced. I think we are.
I still think we're going to see X-Death, yes, but I don't think we'll see Goof.
Showed a Skype conversation by accident because I went to switch it because my Skype was going off and it didn't switch back. Apologies, everyone. Luckily, it was nothing involving us, so we're good to go. There we go. I'll edit that out of the video. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Goof. I'm sort of... I do not think at all that it's self-evident that we're going to meet him and we're going to help him sort of gain back his memory or anything like that. I think it's a fair assumption that whoever he is or was, he has the Echo, and that the students of Baldesion are obviously founded on something that he was working on. My suspicion is that he's probably like the first sort of Echo scholar, the first person to sort of start wondering about what it is and what it can do amongst the Shah lands anyway. And I suspect he might have been a previous Warrior of Light from an older era.
Well, I mean, that seems to line up with that lines up with his role in Final Fantasy V is a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what I'm expecting.
Well, through Krile, we learned a little bit more about some other characters. We got to learn what she's capable of, not just the fact that she has the Echo, but how she's able to manipulate ether, even. Which I thought was interesting. That also, that's another point we'll talk about. Her interaction with a previous Crystal of Light from an earlier era. I don't know how Matoya got her hands on that. I kind of want to know. But the fact that she's able to manipulate that to find all the scions is pretty interesting. I don't know how. I mean, she's literally got to be the center point of finding every single one of the other ones. Actually, that's not true because the other ones didn't travel the ether the same way.
No.
No.
Yeah, and we'll probably talk. We're going to talk about the other scions a little bit later.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it's just. Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, I was just going to say, Yoshi P's mentioned Krile might not even be like a major player in the main story. Like, he said that they might introduce characters into the main story and then not
just
rely
to kill
on
them
them.
Off.
No, not rely on them to be main story elements. You know.
Yeah, I suspect that Krile is going to have a big sort of side quest line of her own.
And maybe we could find her grandfather in the process.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Dead.
Maybe.
He's not dead. You can't.
He's dead, Jim.
Actually, if she has that kind of power, there's a good chance he's dead because she inherited all his crystals when he died in Final Fantasy V. Spoiler. Spoiler for 25 years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it just came out on Steam again. I thought maybe no one had played it before. Well, next we have introduced are the warriors of, the warrior of darkness and his merry crew. They are the warriors, but he is the literal warrior. Like, the only one that was voiced. Didn't get to see too much of him, other than establishing that they're all pretty strong. There's only 5 of them, which means they're cheating and they're breaking the light party rule.
Yep. So basically, they
did
Ravana unsynced.
It's the dark party rule.
It's the dark party. Yeah, in Dark Eorzea, they have 5 party members.
Yeah, there's no light party rule.
Yeah, or that, or they're undersizing.
Yeah, they're
everything.
Ravana.
They undersized Ravana with 5 people. But so after we just get a pretty much hi, that's who we are. We're gonna show you how badass we are, and see ya.
I think we got more than that.
We got more than that, but we got a. What else?
We got an echo. We got an echo. We got an echo of them fighting one of the Ascians in the live stream in the same way that we fought La Brea at the end of 2.0, and basically saying something to the effect of, we're going to destroy the Ascians. So what that tells you is that they were at some point warriors of light.
And that's also reflected in their armor not being dark in the flashback.
Yes, exactly. And this has some interesting implications. So a lot of people have been speculating for the longest time that the Warriors of Darkness might have been the previous era's Warriors of Light. So they might literally be the participants of the Battle of Cartano. The problem with that is obviously the legacy players. And how do you reconcile that? So I'm still not certain about that one, but I think there's definitely something to this. They were previously Warriors of Light. What has happened to them? Did they fail to destroy the Ascian? Did they fail where we succeeded? And were they subsequently sort of possessed in a similar way to Thancred was by La Brea through some sort of effect of the Echo or effect of a Crystal of Darkness? Were they sort of convinced that this sort of shifting between astral and umbral eras is a kind of necessary thing to the the structure of the universe, and where they sort of talked around to it? I don't know. I think it's really interesting, but they've obviously been coerced away from the path of light somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I first saw the Warriors of Darkness, that was the one thing that came to mind was and him being kind of taken by the Ascians and by darkness itself. But
my suspicion is something very similar is going on here.
But I want to go back to what you said about the legacy players. Like, how would it really? How would the legacy players, kind of be involved in that? That seems a little too meta to kind of.
Well, that's the whole point, is that that's the one thing that doesn't make sense, because in the trailer,
that's the hole in it.
is the trailer we're supposed to be technically represented by the characters being sent back in time. That's supposed to be us. Yeah. And when I say us, I mean me, not you two. But that being said, you can't help but notice that the 5 characters in that scene are the same 5 characters as in the original 2.0 trailer.
Look, there's a way around that. What Louisoix did to us at Cardano was very similar to what Y'shtola did to her in Thancred in Before the Fall.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that.
So I think that there is a possibility that they can explain this in 2 different directions. They can explain for the non-legacy players, these are the old Warriors of Light that were at Cartano, and something happened. And they could explain to the legacy players, well, when you were cast into the Ethereal Sea, you split into, you know, good Mr. Happy and bad Mr. Happy. The only problem with that is that we get this echo flashback of them fighting an Ascian.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen for the legacy players before 2.0. So I think it's something that a lot of people are going to be speculating. Again, this sort of shift from being Warriors of Light to Warriors of Darkness. I'm just going to put it out there. I do not think that they were the same dudes that were at the Battle of Cartano. I think that that's purely just a representative kind of thing.
Yeah.
So do you think this could kind of, like story-wise in like future patches or future expansions, kind of create a rift between players, legacy players and, you know, newer players, Warriors of Light, Warriors of Darkness, you know, that option? Okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. That'd be so much work. And
yeah, a lot of people have suspected the Warrior of Darkness means we'll at some point get to pick a path, and I don't. We already have 3 nations. Imagine having to have 3 nations with 2 different options. Man, PvP would be a disaster.
Well, the thing is,
there's some that say PvP would be easier though with that.
No, it'd be easier if we had no Grand Company restrictions, not if we were split into good and bad.
It would just make it simple.
Horde and Alliance. Let's do it now.
Do you imagine what would happen to the story and what would happen to the canon?
Oh my
You'd have
God.
2 completely different, like, canonical Final Fantasy XIV stories. That would be for me, that would be a fucking nightmare. I'd have to have
2
like
characters.
a Warrior of Light and a Warrior of Darkness, and I'd have to spend like equal time on both of them. And,
Hey man, Star Wars did it. Why not? Why not? Why not?
Star Wars did do it. Star Wars did do it. That's true, but it didn't have an impact on like the universe's story because in the Old Republic, you're not like the center of the universe like we are. We're the freaking center of the universe. We're the most important thing happening.
Good. So can we get a shirt in game that says I'm kind of a big deal, and just wear that around during the main story? I just want to see that. I can't wait till Eorzea starts making shirts with words on it. One day we'll get the technology.
That's what your Golden Subligar is.
No, my Golden Subligar is I won Eorzea.
Yeah, it's your.
But it doesn't actually say. It's not like it says juicy on the ass or anything like that.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows what you did.
No, they don't. People ask me every day, why the hell are you wearing that?
Really?
Yeah. It's like, Happy, please put a shirt on. They don't even ask me to put pants on. They just ask me to put a shirt on. My nippleless Lalafell walking around Limsolo Minza staring at Boxman for an hour. Nothing more awkward than that. So, Derplanner's not messing around. Is ultimately what we're thinking about. At first, he kind of seemed like a nice guy, and then he's just
he's kind of a dick.
And then he's immediately like, yeah, let's beat their ass. Yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it. Either way, we have more to talk about the warrior later. There's a scene at the very end. That's the only other time we see him after this this sort of conflict with Ravana. Which, by the way, if they're warriors of darkness, why are they killing primals in our world? Doesn't that create the unrest that the Ascian? No, we'll talk about that. I know exactly what Ethys is looking at me for, because I know what Ethys is thinking. I can see on his look. He's like, "Oh, you don't think there's a reason, huh?" I can bet you there's a reason. But one thing that kind of was interesting about this cutscene was Thancred's appearance, because I had a feeling we were going to find him this patch, just because Y'shtola and Thancred were lost together, and the Record Keeper event has them both together.
Really? Record Keeper?
Honestly, it made sense, all right? And my prediction was correct, so I'm going to say the Record Keeper hint was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, they wouldn't put him in Record Keeper if they were planning on having him, have some long hiatus.
Yeah, that's how I feel, at the very least. One thing I noticed about Thancred immediately, first of all, his digs are fucking legit. Second of all, he is way stronger than he was the last time we saw him.
He's been in the wilderness kind of.
Come on, he could have killed bears before, like something about
power leveling.
Yeah,
with Nutkins.
In strategic places.
I feel like watching Ice Age all of a sudden. Anyway, but like legitimately, he took off on another level. Like where we were taken by surprise, he was toe to toe with the Warrior of Darkness. That's not supposed to be like that. Is again something that kind of shows other characters.
I don't know if he was toe to toe. I think he just sort of caught him by surprise.
Yeah. I don't know. That 1v1 went on for a good minute. I don't think that's. I think after he threw dagger, said, "I'm going to fight you now."
Grounds.
he threw dagger, said, "I'm going to fight you now," and the guy said, "Okay, I'm going to fight you back," and then they fought. That's how it looked to me. I'm going to fight you now. That's all it is.
Jeez.
But I mean, especially
scripts, dude.
Especially after he killed 2 dudes in like the canal, and then he took an arrow to the knee. It's not my fault. They're the ones who did it.
So you're just comparing experiences. Like,
he did, didn't he? Oh fuck! I put that out of my memory
for good reason, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with Ethys. He kind of power leveled. He's been hunting. He's been, you know, he's been doing levs.
He's been doing levs in the area. He's been doing levs. He's been doing NAF daily quests. That's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
There's no women out there.
He doesn't have time to focus on women. All he could do was like hunt, and I picture him with this like gruff ass beard in the time that he got there, you know, trying to hunt for stuff to wear, like trying to just fish.
The Nutkin every time.
He's like Matt Damon at the end of The Martian.
Hey, never seen that movie.
Seen that yet?
Moving on.
No.
Nope. Don't watch movies, man. I don't.
I gotta read the book. I gotta read the book.
What's a book?
Yes, it's a book.
Anyway, but I actually have another theory. I think he is legitimately more physically powerful because of what they kind of hinted at towards the end of the scenario. Is he doesn't seem to be able to use magic anymore. Completely gone from his aura. Now, first of all, I think that made him stronger physically.
I didn't say completely gone. Y'shtola said, I've got the exact quote here. Y'shtola said, upon closer examination, I saw that his etheric flow had been irreparably disrupted. So he's been crippled in terms of his connection to the ether. He can't teleport. We know that much. He can't teleport.
No, yeah, he can't do that.
Yeah.
So your suspicion is that he's sort of done the kind of Odin thing where he's traded an eye for, you know, a different kind of sight, and he's become physically more powerful for losing his magic. Yeah,
you lose one sense, the others get stronger, kind of deal. And I don't mean the literal eye that he seems to be covering for some reason.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I still reckon he's just been power leveling. I gotta say.
I love that being. I love that being the lore reason for why. It's because he was level 50 and they threw him into a level 55 zone. He had the power level.
So well, I mean, you just think about it pragmatically. Like, he's woken up naked in the middle of a forest, and he's had to kill to survive, and he's sort of been put through hardships that he never, you know, had to deal with before. You know, he didn't ever really go out of his way to make things difficult for him in 2.0.
He finally got his ninja jobstone. No, I don't think he did.
In 2.0, he seemed like the sense I got from him, he seemed like he had a lot of the comforts in life. Even though he was kind of strong.
He was capable.
Then he was capable. Yeah, good word. He was capable then, but he just seemed comfortable.
I'm just going to say, you don't kill bears in the wild and then can stand up to the Warrior of Darkness, who just destroyed Ravana's shield with Steel Cyclone.
He was killing bears naked with a pair of...
So that means he has less things holding him down. The Warrior of Darkness could probably kill them naked with a flint pair pretty easily.
I want to see you go into the Fallens...
with got it.
Nothing on your ninja except for a pair of level 1 daggers, and see how many bears you can kill.
All right, done.
And without using any MP or any items or anything.
No, I don't need to. I got Hutan. There you go.
All right.
I guarantee you I can kill at least one bear.
All right, at least one.
At least one bear.
Yeah, and then what?
Before I lose my patience. more or less, before I lose my patience. Okay. Well, okay, but more importantly, he had his etheric flow disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Y'shtola suffered a loss also in that of her actual eyesight. Is this going to play an important role later? Both of them sort of losing these senses, or is this the result of a previous action?
I'll take it a little bit further and say all of them. Like, everybody lost something. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Ida lost her mask. That's about it.
Beyond the mask.
I think the point of Before the Fall is that everyone lost something, including us, and everyone gained something. And the sort of way forward for each of the characters that were involved in that scenario is what have they gained and how can they use it.
Okay. I just want to...
What are you giggling at?
We had this conversation before
the fall?
Before the fall. Before we started the show about Thancred. And
the mojo thing.
The mojo. And somebody said in chat he lost
Yeah.
his mojo. We had that conversation. We were thinking that he lost his mojo. Thancred just... Like, he's been training really hard.
We didn't know where he was, so he was a man of mystery. And no one in the locals knew who he was. So he was definitely an international man of mystery at that point.
So we're thinking that we're going to have to go on some quest with Thancred to kind of find his mojo and get it back. And it's going to end with him sleeping with 2 Araw women.
One of them's a robot, an Allagan robot.
One of them's not even like a woman robot, it's just an Allagan node.
Yeah, just an Allagan node with a hole. Anyway. I mean, otherwise, how's it authentic? Anyway, so they all lost something, but do you think that, because specifically I asked because Y'shtola, when Matoya pointed it out, said it was sucking the life out, like it was actually killing her.
When she's using it, so she's developed this ability to. I kind of think of it like the Matrix and like how Neo sort of enters the Matrix. She can see
kung fu.
She can see the sort of noumenal stuff when she wants to. So that's how she identifies what's wrong with Thancred. She says that basically she examines his etheric flow, the kind of stuff that they need, like their little Charlene goggles and stuff to do. She can just do with their eyes. However, she's been told that it's killing her to do so. It's basically burning away her essence. And yet she keeps fucking doing it. She's doing it to Thancred. She was doing it before. She needs to learn to control it or it's going to kill her. And I think that it is going to eventually kill her because she's going to be forced to use it. And, eventually it's going to leave her crippled.
I'm still leaning on Matoya sacrificing herself at some point to restore.
Why?
Well, no, they're gonna kill her for whatever reason.
But why?
But here's the thing
because
about
she's
Matoya.
Old and her knowledge needs to be passed down.
It does, the thing about Matoya is, I don't get how powerful Matoya really is because we haven't really seen anything out of Matoya. I mean, we just know based off of history that she's kind of able to do things, but we've all had to do it for her. She just hands us the tools. She hands us the tools and say, here you go.
She's got to tell those brooms, man. She's got to Mickey Mouse that shit and tell those brooms what to do. I don't think it's about
power for her. I think it's just that she's intelligent. She's resourceful. She designed weapons. That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean...
Louis Slyh wasn't particularly powerful before he became Phoenix.
It was pretty fucking powerful.
He was pretty fucking OP. Yeah, I disagree.
He was stronger than than pretty much every other character in the game at that point. If you look,
well, that's because he was drawing upon all that ether. That's just because he knows how to use the tools that he's got.
Exactly. How does Matoya use it?
He had the Tupsamati. Now I have to remind you guys, the Tupsamati is basically the equivalent of one of Nidhogg's eyes. It's this sort of ethereal battery. That's not Louis Slyh's power. That's just him having a fucking eye-level 450 weapon.
Tupsamati, eye-level 450 confirmed. Patch 4.3.
Yep.
Okay, I was about to say patch 5. Okay.
Sure. Nah, we'll get there soon.
Sure.
We'll get there sooner.
But yeah, Matoya just seems like, to draw the comparison, she seems like Yoda when you first saw Yoda in
episode 2.
Not episode 2. God, no. When Luke first encounters Yoda, and it's like, why the fuck is this short little dude bossing me around. I haven't seen him do anything. And then he lifts a freaking X-wing, and then you see how exactly powerful he is. I haven't seen anything from Matoya. She's just
that's the archetype that's the archetype that she's playing to, is that you find this sort of magical little creature on the side of the road, and eventually it turns out to be some kind of genie.
Well, I'd like to point out that in episode 2, Yoda did eventually fight, and it was one of the greatest spectacles of
3.
2 and 3.
So you're expecting Y'shtola to be doing like backflips and Matoya to be doing
she's gonna pull out a lightsaber and she's gonna fucking wreck Elidibus.
She's gonna fight Count Dooku.
No, Elidibus. Elidibus is Count Dooku in this case. And I also like how Thancred just kind of joins the story, and he's just like, oh.
It's kind of Count Dooku.
Thancred's just like, oh, okay, there's bad things. How did I? All right, there's bad. All right, fuck it. There we go. How did I not run into you guys? But when you guys were doing the story before, I've been in the hinterlands here.
He wasn't there yet.
That took him a real long time to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he was sort of floating through the live stream for a little while. No, they said when we were asking after him in the Forelands, I think we found out that he'd heard of someone who had like defeated Ravana or something when he first arrived at the Nath.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got there after us basically.
Yeah. And I'd like to point out something in the chat did say Final Fantasy I Matoya's quest was to find a crystal eye. Clear reference here. I don't remember what it did in Final Fantasy 1, but it seems to have a very clear use here at the very least. I have a feeling they're going to go after her, the Ascians, at some point. They're going to go after her for that eye, for that shard, if it's as powerful as she says it is.
Don't you mean the Sith?
Yeah, the Sith are going to go after her.
Yeah.
Count Dooku's going to go after Matoya for the Force. Just get it.
I don't know what they could do with it.
Well, the thing is, she seems very protective of it. She says, as long as it never leaves my sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to use it there. We can't take it with us. Don't break it. We have to use it there.
Yeah.
So did you understand the implication of that? Can we talk about that?
About the
crystal.
The crystal itself, yeah.
So it's a crystal of light from a previous era. And Matoya explicitly states that these ancient crystals of light are more powerful than modern ones. Which confirms this theory that I've had for a long time, that the sort of balance and equilibrium that the Ascians keep talking about is actually a state of atrophy. That Hydaelyn is slowly getting weaker and weaker and weaker over time, and we're moving slowly towards nihilism, basically, with the sort of death and destruction of everything. And that's what the Ascians think is the sort of original state, or the perfect state, or the proper state of being. So yeah, the ancient crystal light's more powerful. We're going downhill. Hydaelyn is steadily going downhill, and she's not recovering.
And that's probably why they don't. It seems like they don't bring Umbral Eras just for the sake of, hey, this Umbral Era will be the one Zodiark comes back in. It's almost like every single one is a test to see, or to forcefully make Hydaelyn give up a part of her power to set it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's basically Hydaelyn's under siege. The what do they call it? The Reckoning. It's not a resummoning of Zodiark like every Umbral Era. It's the next step towards the state of Zodiark, which is in my theory anyway, is basically just the opposite of Hydaelyn. Hydaelyn is the constructive impulse. Zodiarks are the destructive impulse. Once Hydaelyn is destroyed, that is Zodiark. That is Zodiark coming into being.
Yeah. AKA that will be our Rhapsodies when the day comes.
Sure.
Because
if the day comes.
If it ever gets to the point where, like, I can't even imagine getting to the day where we actually encounter Zodiark. Like, that's such a hard day to place in my head. I don't know about you.
Well, it would kind of be like, I feel like it would kind of be like how we almost encountered Ralga, in that it would be a primal, right? That if you've got something like the Limes of Dalamud, they could have, for all intents and purposes, summoned a primal Dalamud.
Yeah.
I think it's possible if we ever do fight Zodiark that it's going to be like a Zodiark cult, and it's going to be like we're so close to like the brink of that destructive state that people are like starting to worship this idea of Zodiark, and the summoning of like a Zodiark primal is going to be like that final push. It's going to sort of draw that last, little sliver of Hydaelyn's power.
There's a lot of ways this can go. It's pretty open-ended.
It's like 7.0.
Yeah,
it's super open-ended.
Which is what I liked about this patch. As short as it was super. It opened a lot of doors, and didn't close any, but in such ways that I'm more anticipating it than like, well, that was kind of an underwhelming patch. I want to see it. I want to see it evolve. But there's one thing that I felt got the shaft this patch: the Dragon Song War. I do not like I did not like any of the developments here in the Dragon Song War.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of felt like the Dragon Song War, really did take a back seat in terms of everything that happened. And not really a back seat because we did get some kind of progression in terms of what's happening, what we're going to do. With even though Racefolger wasn't there, we kind of had to speak to Vidofnir. Like, Vidofnir was Racefolger's, proxy,
I liked that part. I actually liked Vidofnir's involvement. I didn't like the things going on in Ishgard, and I didn't like what happened with Nidhogg in particular.
I can agree.
That made sense to me. The Nidhogg thing made sense, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because his plan hasn't changed at all. He doesn't want to destroy Ishgard. He wants to continue his siege. He wants to continue his sort of slow revenge. And now he has more power to do that. I think he's just working out what his next step is going to be.
I mean, that's the only thing it can really be, because we have Hraesvelgr, who all of a sudden is like, yeah, peace, sure. Which is kind of, I don't know, after 1,000 years, you'd think they make a point to say, oh, you can't just fix this. And then Hraesvelgr is like, yeah, no, we could try to just fix this.
I don't think what Hraesvelgr said to Vidofnir was basically like, it's up to you. Vidofnir said, I've got to go ask Dad. And Dad said, I don't give a fuck.
Dad is hanging out with us still. Where is he? Oh, no, he flew away. He technically flew away.
He technically flew away, but...
Yeah.
Nah, he's still hanging out with us.
But I kind of feel like we have a severed connection with Hraesvelgr because of the death of Sail. Sail.
Well, Hraesvelgr feels like his sort of time to be involved with his kind of past. I think he's putting it in the hands of his children. He's saying that this is a problem of the present. He says that I'm a creature of ancient history. Nidhogg and I are relics. Vidofnir is probably like 3,000 years old as well, but he does explicitly say to Vidofnir that it's her decision.
Yeah, but did give her a message.
That is interesting.
Did give her an actual message, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. But, I mean, well, first of all, I'm almost 100% positive we're going to have Durgan Daycare dailies. 100%. You were not happy about that last time I brought that up. You like Tiamat. You said you hated Durgan Daycare.
I said I hated Durgan Daycare, but I hated it less than,
the Moogles.
Moogle's Ward.
Moogle's Ward.
I just thought Durgan Daycare was they're fucking terrible parents. That's all I'm saying. That's the only reason why I hate it is because they're fucking terrible parents. You're Durgan Daycare. You, the Warrior of Light, are Durgan Daycare. They don't even pay you much either.
Gotta take care of them. How do they pay us at all is the real question. Anyway. Yeah. But then with Nidhogg, dude took a nap, woke up, and just said, I'm leaving. And went someplace else. Now, of course, that is obviously more important than just he left and he peaced out. He's not done. But I like how he's got all this power. He's way more powerful than he ever was. If Vishap can almost take down Ishgard with just the first ward taken care of, Nidhogg should be able to demolish. And what are those wards even doing if Vidofnir could just fly into Ishgard? I don't know.
Well, the wards are down permanently. Yeah. They're gone.
Yeah.
like I say, Nidhogg doesn't want to destroy Ishgard. That's been the whole point of the revelation of the Dragon Song War, is that he could have destroyed Ishgard at any point if he wanted to. His whole idea is about converting heretics, turning them into dragons, using them as cannon fodder against Ishgard, and basically having the people of Ishgard believe themselves over centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries. If he destroys Ishgard, he thinks that, death is too good for these people. That's too easy, that's too simple. So he's not interested in that.
So do you think, to kind of bring up what happened in Ishgard, do you think that the attempt on Emmerich was in fact a heretic? Was
no
kind of quote unquote?
Well, I don't think he's asking just because obviously we know the priest and their involvement. I think he's going a further step down if that priest's decision wasn't influenced in any way by Nidhogg. I don't think it is, because he seems completely devout of Ishgardian faith.
I thought that was actually really interesting, is that the remaining sort of priests have decided that Emmerich's performed a coup d'etat. I was expecting the conflict to come from the bottom, to come from the broom, because it was already stirring. It was already stirring in 3.0. People are getting really dissatisfied. Now they know the truth. Now that they know that the whole, the whole system of the houses is based on a lie, that everyone there is descended from the knights, and that there is absolutely no reason why, these people should be dukes and duchesses, and we shouldn't. Right. So I was expecting a revolution to come from below. I was expecting us to have to kind of deal with that. I was expecting something like the French Revolution, rather than the kind of opposite that's happening now. It didn't sit right with me. It felt
it almost
really
seems
weird.
like the ones up top are manipulating the ones down below who are somewhat on that fence, but they're just as dissatisfied with the idea of change as.
But that's the thing, is that now the people of the broom are suddenly on the fence, whereas before they were basically.
And they're just reaching the one side of the fence,
right?
And they're looking on that side of the fence that wants to see things stay the same for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could have done that better, to be honest.
I still want to know where the hell Nidhogg flew off to, because I still have the thought that he went to go see one of his brothers or sisters, one of the remaining ones, because we know we have Ratoskir, Hacefelger, Tiamat, Nidhogg. We still have.
There's one left.
One left, and their name is.
Come on.
I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Sure.
Well, we know we got Omega, and.
Use your words.
Is we talking about Midgard Summer?
No, we got a mega weapon.
Oh, and Shinryu.
Yes, Shinryu. Shinryu's got to be the last one.
I thought you were saying Omega is one of the things. Like, that's not just one of the dragons.
No, we were trying.
Yeah,
no.
Shinryu. So Shinryu, do we think that that's where he went off to try and find a brother in arms?
Maybe we're about to get, because I think that and I was surprised we didn't see anything of him this patch. What's his name? The Ala Mhigo, the one that cut off Raban's arm. Ilberd. Yeah, we haven't seen anything of him this patch. My theory for him is that he's going to end up going after Omega weapon, because he's going to use it to try and liberate Ala Mhigo.
What the fuck is going on in Ul'dah? I just realized we didn't even touch upon the fact that they're still technically in a state of like discord.
Yeah, yeah, they're still fucked. But because Ilberd was so involved with that sort of plan to dig up Omega weapon, I reckon he's going to go for that, and he's going to go after Ala Mhigo, and I think that we're going to get Shinryu showing up then, and it would be kind of convenient if Nidhogg and Shinryu were somehow in cahoots in some way. I think that would be quite interesting, and it would tie the two arcs, I guess, of Ishgard and of Ul'dah together.
I'm also curious. So when the Heavensward trailer first came out, we were told not every scene there was depicted in 2.55 or would be depicted in 3.0. I'm still of the mind the final invasion that is shown in the Heavensward trailer is a culmination of the end of the events of our expansion, the ultimate assault on Ishgard. Because that is not. I do not believe that's the Steps of Faith. No. Because the wards are down. Sid's already in the city. The Warrior of Light's already in the city. He's a dragoon now, not dead yet, unlike the one that just landed in the mouth of a dragon after like 2 seconds of fighting. Do we think that this is the precursor to that invasion? Because even though you said they wanted to bleed him dry, maybe he's tired of bleeding them dry at this point. They know the truth at this point, so what's the point in bleeding them dry anymore? They know.
Well, it doesn't make any difference whether they know or not, does it? I mean, it wasn't because of him that they didn't know before. He wasn't the one that was hiding the truth. That was entirely Haldareth and the Knights.
But they still do know. Like, it's not... Now he's doing this thing, and they know. Maybe that makes it worse. Maybe they know they are killing brethren. But maybe it also is sort of a necessary thing at this point. They understand, okay, well, that's them now.
I think the threat to Nidhogg is that now that the Ishgardians know and they're making sort of peace signs towards the dragons, is that Nidhogg might find some of his brethren turning against him. Yeah. And I've been saying, and this is the other thing that I think was really conspicuously missing from the main scenario this time around, is that I've always been thinking that what is going to cause that shift is the dragons, all but Nidhogg, realizing the threat that the Garleans are posing in Azaz and being so close to getting their hands on the same technology that allowed the neurolinking of the Mericidians. And I think that is the thing that will ultimately motivate an alliance between Ishgards and dragons. I mean, like a formal military alliance.
Including Nidhogg?
No,
he's the only one on his own.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the thing that destroys Nidhogg, is that all of his children are gonna be like, we need to deal with these Garleans, and Nidhogg's just completely he's mad. He's There's nothing else exists except for this Ishgard conflict, and they're going to realize that he's just a psychopath and sort of, you know, peace out. So the fact that the Garland situation didn't advance at all, not explicitly anyway. I mean, some things have changed in Azaz, and we'll come to that in a bit. But I thought that was really conspicuous, and I thought that was quite disappointing to me, because that's the one thing that I was really, really holding out for this patch.
Well, we still got more dragons to talk about, so I guess we can't worry about that at this point. There's nothing to worry about, unfortunately, other than the thing we'll talk about in Azaz towards the end of this. But we talked about Hraesvelgr, we talked about Nidhogg. Vidofnir showed up in Ishgard. This is the second time a dragon has shown up in Ishgard at this point, without being completely just stabbed.
Not being shot down.
Not being shot down. So saved a child even in front of Ishgardian people, which is kind of so. As soon as I saw him holding over the edge, I was like, Vidofnir's gonna. I saw 2 minutes into the future. Like, they're not gonna show this little girl hit after like dropping 500 feet, blood everywhere. I believed it for a second when they showed everyone else. I was like, is she just gonna? Oh no, please don't let her hit the ground.
Splat. Yeah.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing for Ishgard that Vidofnir shows up? Because they kind of imply that it's not just a good thing.
I think it is a good thing, because you got to remember, if anybody doesn't remember, Midgardsormr showed up first. He was the first one to ever show up on Ishgardian soil.
Of all the dragons to show up, too, right?
Yeah, of all. But yeah, I think there could have been worse. There could have been worse than Midgardsormr, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. It kind of gives me the sense that maybe Midgardsormr got the word out. You know, everything's semi-okay.
I mean, the thing for me is that it seemed like it settled the people of the Broom, but still not the higher-ups. Like, the people of the Broom now all of a sudden are more on the fence of, you know, the dragons are okay. Like, we can trust dragons now. Whereas the people up top are even worse. They're like, fuck.
It's going to drive that wedge. It's going to drive that wedge deeper. It's going to be not only is Emmerich committed a coup, he's also consorting with the enemy. And there's going to be, you know, they're zealots. There's no way around that. And I thought we'd killed them all. But apparently we haven't, so we still got to do that.
What really pissed me off about this, and this is what pissed me off about the story, a part of the story in general, Vidofnir shows up, saves a kid. Here's what daddy says. Bye.
Yeah, like, what kind of meeting was that?
Yeah, that was like, if we wanted this sort of peace, like, we had the talk.
Yeah, I thought that she would be there, like, from now on, like, as an NPC.
Yeah, know? Like,
you know what though?
Like ambassador.
The message she brought was kind of a message.
She was like,
It's like we can't even worry about this right now. There's other shit you need to worry about.
Bye.
And also, I think the what she did as she showed up, I think she sort of realized that like it couldn't have gone any better than that. She's like, nothing I say could trump.
She dropped
this.
the mic.
Yeah.
She did her own little controller mic drop. Like that's it.
You're welcome, Ishgard.
And she was also very polite to the humans. It's like she didn't treat them. She called them mortals. That's about it. And that can piss some of especially the zealots off because it's almost like a means of looking down. But it's to the dragons, it's a factual observation. I will live long and you will live a short life. So that's just how they look at it. Well, so there's just so many things. Not the things we all wanted because, Garleans and whatnot, but there's a lot of things going on here that all are now going to make 3.2, I feel, one of the better story patches. I still think 3.1 is better story-wise than the majority of the A Realm Reborn patches in terms of the developments, up until maybe 2.5. Yeah. 2.4 also had some really good ones, especially with Ramuh as a primal. I felt like he so far is the most interesting pure primal, not like a person having a primal summoned into them. But I still think that 3.1 was more interesting than 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. I personally feel that way regarding what had happened, regarding the conflicts. I was at the edge of my seat for this. I was not at the edge of my seat for 2.1, 2.2,
I think that's fair. I think the most interesting things about 2.1 through to 2.3 was the Coil storyline, really.
The Coil storyline was... And honestly, in 2.0, the Coil storyline sucked. It was, hey, we're here. No. Let's remember what had happened. We show up. Holy shit, this is big. That's his wing. All right, see in 4 fucking turns. Show up. Wow, this is his hand. Oh, and then there's Louis Swan and Nail, and then we're done.
But you got to remember, it was about the Garlands in 2.0. It was about the Garlands have gotten to Dalamud first, and they're gonna get at all this elegant.
And that never came to fruition after they initially said that was the concern. Like that was the initial concern going in. That just wasn't the concern going out. Yeah. It was why is that grandfather, granddad? Why are you
happy?
Okay. What are you doing here? Why is Nail here? What's going on? Why are you guys just looking at me?
I liked it.
It was all right. I mean, it was hard to top just the trailer that came prior, and then 2.3 and 2.2 and 2.4 blew it off the hinges with the Coil story there. So there's only one thing that's super important left. There's other like little things we could still talk about, but the post-completion cutscenes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did Square Enix go to the Marvel school of doing stories where you just you do the whole thing, you say, hey, it's done.
Wait till the credits end.
Wait till the credits end, and then you have the teaser for the next one.
On board.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Joss Whedon writing a patch?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
That'd be so fucking good. That'd be so good.
Absolutely.
We'd get so much done.
We'd get a lot more things. There's a lot of things we'd get done faster if they do it certain ways. So the first thing it shows is some sort of library. It looks akin to the Cabal. I don't know if that's where it was, but it shows Urianger, Elidibus, and the Warrior of Darkness. It was Cabal?
Yeah, it was absolutely Cabal.
Okay. It was. Yeah, I saw the chained books on the wall and whatnot, and I couldn't tell. Urianger, Elidibus, and the Warrior of Darkness. Looking over a book that proves something that Elidibus was trying to get through to Urianger.
Now, did you notice the name?
I did, but I completely forgot. Like I was looking for a comparison, and then I just forgot to finish my thought.
So it was called the Oracles of Gerun.
Gerun.
Who is Gerun?
Gerun. Heard that name before.
He is from Final Fantasy XII. He's
that's why I don't realize.
Of the Ocuria.
Oh.
Which is
that's my theory! That was my theory that I came up with. I should know this.
It's a group of supernatural beings that control fate. So we've got the Ascians talking about how, this atrophy that we're talking about is fate. It's the natural progression of the world. And then they're referring to a book which has a reference to a character in Final Fantasy XII, which is about perverting and controlling fate. So he's using this to coerce, or he's using this to try to coerce Urianger. What's going on there?
Well, to me, it seems like Urianger has always kind of felt that he was in the right, that his progression was sort of natural fate. Elidibus is coming in and trying to tell him this is your fate. That what everything you thought was your fate was wrong. No, this is your fate. And Urianger is for the first time in his entire life questioning the decisions he makes and if they've ever had any merit. I think he's taking it into serious consideration. I think that I don't think he's just like, nah, you're full of shit. I think he actually is starting to believe it.
I think he's playing them.
I don't. Now, there's one good reason I will take you up on that. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Not even for the knowledge. I think he knows exactly what they're doing. I think he's playing them. I think that he knows that they think of him as the one that is driven by reason, by pure reason, and not by, love of the realm and love of his friends and all of that sappy bullshit that the other Scions are all about. So they think that they can manipulate him by showing him reason for which side he should be on. And presumably that may or may not be something that they've done to the Warriors of Darkness as well. I think that he knows what they're doing, and I think that he's playing along and he's trying to get into that inner circle. And I'm with Sly. I think it all comes back to Moonbreeder. I think we're going to get a story of Urianger. We're going to get a full turnaround, and we're going to get a story in a couple of patches about, love trumping reason. And Urianger is on our side, and he's going to be absolutely pivotal and absolutely essential to preventing whatever it is that Elidibus is trying to do. But we're going to think that he's on Elidibus' side for a long time, I believe.
That's okay. And I'll give you something to back that up. How about that? There's another person in that library.
There is.
And they are very likely in cahoots with him. And may only know that he's there because it's he's trying to get in the inner circle.
No,
that's possible.
We know who that is, right? Like, there's no guess. People maybe said it was Alice, but that's Minfilia, right?
I think it's Alice.
I think it's Alice.
I don't know. I think Minfilia got
Alice's boots.
I know it's her boots. I know it's her boots. So what? It's boots. You're saying she changed clothes before. You're saying she could have changed boots? And also, it's really strange to put her in after the Coil story, even though we said that we would probably see her in the future. What happens? Are they going to now develop...
It's strange.
Well, now they have to develop different text based on if we completed the Coil story with her going forward?
No, they don't. Because when we finish the Coil story, she basically says that this can never come to light. We're going to part ways, and we're never going to talk about this again. This never happened. Phoenix never happened. Bahamut's gone. That's all anybody needs to know. And I think she's going to be consistent to that. I think Alize needs to come back. She hasn't been in the main story since 2.0, since her and Alphino sort of parted ways. And they reconciled at the end of Coil, and we need to see sort of, I guess, follow-up to that, or reaffirmation of that. Mm-hmm. I think she needs to come back into the story. I think it's Alize. I really do.
The first reason why I thought it was Minfilia is the cutscene that follows mostly. The involvement in that we're missing 3 Scions still.
Right. Yeah, I can see why you thought that. I can definitely see why.
And I still do think that they may want us to deliberately think it's Alice or something, but I'm still landing on it being Minfilia. I think that
like it to be Minfilia in a way because
I would too. It makes her useful.
Yeah,
it means she's doing something useful. Also, the idea, regardless of who it is, I think that the entire point of showing that there was that person there, there's no way they just followed to that area. Like, I refuse to accept the idea that they just followed Urianger and the Ascian and the Warrior of Darkness to this library. Whoever that is, I feel like does actually know that Urianger is working with them, but knows a little bit more so than the Ascian and the Warrior of Darkness do.
But Alize is incredibly resourceful. That was the whole point of her role in the Cola storyline, is that she's much smarter than Alphino thinks she is, and in many ways she's much smarter and more resourceful.
Didn't show it all too much till the very end, though. She didn't really show. She was very, very tempted to fall off of her path.
That's what Alphino thought. Yeah. And I think that was the point of it, is that Alphino had been underestimating her the whole time, and that she actually had a lot of things that he doesn't have. I think that Alize walked away from Alphino, not the other way around. Alphino needs people around him. He needs to feel like he's sort of moving pieces and stuff like that. Alisaie is quite happy to go off and do her own thing. She doesn't need nobody.
She doesn't need no man.
Yeah. Well, that's, you know.
She's an independent Ellison who don't need no man.
I really think that she's been watching everything that we've been doing, and she's been watching it far removed enough that she's not being watched by the people that are watching us, if that makes any sense. So I think that if anyone could move around without the notice of the Ascians, or, you know, potentially Telegia or anyone else that is keeping tabs on us and on the Scions, it would be Alisaie.
So, when the Warrior of Darkness notices something, I initially interpreted that as detecting somebody else with the echo. That was another thing that led to me thinking it could have been Pinfilia, because it doesn't just seem like he hears a noise. He has this inherent thing. When he runs into the Warrior of Light, they all kind of do that whole, something's going on thing. And as soon as
with the echo, you can detect. You can sort of detect anyone. It's not just other people with the echo. The only exception being the fact that the Warrior of Darkness couldn't detect Thancred because he apparently is sort of invisible in terms of ethereal activity. Yeah. But you notice that like all the time through the main scenario, through 2.0 to 3.0, is that the Warrior of Light has the same sort of preconscious.
He looks before they walk around the corner.
Yeah, and it's not just when Scions turn up. It's when anyone turns up, and you're never particularly surprised when someone shows up. You're just like, oh hey, yeah, so you're coming.
I knew that.
What's up?
Yeah.
So I think it's just it is the echo, but I don't think it's just it's not like, you know, Jedi sensing other Jedi.
That would be pretty cool.
It's just a spider sense to me.
Yeah, basically.
And Spider-Man's got pretty shitty reactions considering it's just spider sense. So. Bullshit, the car hit me. Nope, not buying it.
Well, have you seen a spider dodging bullets?
Yeah.
Like spider sense.
Go try to shoot a spider off a wall right now. Tell me how well it goes. You go do that.
Go pretty well.
You go do that. I'm gonna go fight a bear naked. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. Now we have our homework for next month.
You know what? You just insisted on the short straw there. I'm quite happy to say that.
It's like, yeah, I'll shoot a spider with a gun and you'll go fight a bear naked. That sounds like a great agreement.
Yeah,
that sounds fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, one of the reasons I am still somewhat leaning towards Pinfilia, even with Alisaie's boots. Mm-hmm. And I do accept that Alisaie was the first thought I had, but I leaned towards Pinfilia after a short time. It was the next cutscene that followed that really kind of made me think, well, they're just showing us that they're trying to tease us towards the location of the remaining 3 Scions. And I'd like to point out we have 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and then 2.5 is usually a finale, or I'm sorry, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, and then 3.5 will probably have a finale-esque thing where everyone fucking falls apart again. Who the hell knows? But the following cutscene shows us what Ida and Papalimo are up to. Doesn't even try to hide it. It just says, "Oh yeah, this is them." We know you guys know. We know that you guys know that is Ida and that is Papalimo. Like, we're not gonna hide it. And where they are, I'm not the only one who thinks that's Ala Mhigo. Am I?
Nope.
Yeah, they're with the Ala Mhigo resistance. They're obviously like off on the border of Ishgardian and Ala Mhigo. And that's what they're doing. I don't think there's any other possible interpretation for that.
And what strikes me more is that they put their current task above finding the other Scions. Like, they even said it outright. Like, this, they're more important.
We can't stay here. They said we can't stay here forever.
We can't stay here forever, but this is more important right now than getting back to our brethren, so to speak. Why?
I don't know. Isn't that the Scion's whole point? Maybe they see the approaching, like they see the Imperials are going to be making a move towards Eorzea and using the Resistance is kind of forestalling that at the very least, or making some sort of headway back in. It's very likely they're going to lead some sort of resistance that gets us control of Ala Mhigo back in 3.5 or 3.55 for us to use it as a city hub in 4.0.
Well, I think it's likely that they sort of escaped from Ul'dah by virtue of resistance members that they were sort of smuggled out of there, and they found themselves in a resistance camp. And then after they recovered and all that, they were like, "These people need our help. We
have to remember, they didn't teleport.
No, they
didn't teleport.
Another thing I remember about that is after the whole 2.5 to 2-hour cutscene, whatever. If you go back into Ul'dah and you talk to certain soldiers, they pretend they're trying to pretend like you're not there, like they don't see you. So it can be assumed. Are
sympathetic.
Yeah, it can be assumed that they kind of work with Papalymo and Yida to get out of Ul'dah.
So the breaking of the link pearl, because at an earlier point in the story, one of the hints towards their location was that they found their link pearls, but they were broken. Is this part of keeping them out of wraps, perhaps, as they went to the resistance area? Perhaps the Imperials have a way of detecting link pearl communications, or there's an insider. Maybe they're afraid somebody else had frequencies.
We know that there's Garlean insiders in Ul'dah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that they know basically everything that we knew up until 2.5. So I think that they've just decided to go off the radar. They've realized that they've been betrayed by kind of moving with their heads up, and they need to kind of turn the clock back to 0.
Mm-hmm. It's a hell of a place to go to turn it back to 0. You're dialing up the 4.0, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, we've been speculating that for ages, that it's got to be Ala Mhigo. Like,
absolutely. It has to be. And we're going to be swimming, right? We're going to have swimming mounts? I know, I don't want it either. Nope.
Okay. We're going to have more griffins. There's going to be a lot more griffins.
Yeah, definitely. Why are they still hiding Yda's face? We've seen her eye. Why, they put so much effort into hiding her face in those cutscenes. Like, just, they showed her chest, they showed the back of her head, they showed Papalymo's face.
Maybe she's a Garlean. That
would be, well, she's wearing...
That's a kind of decent theory, and the only reason I say that is because of what they did to Lucia. I mean, Lucia's strategic.
Like whenever anyone has got whenever anyone's got something covering their forehead, they seem to be a fucking Garlean, don't they?
And, well, I mean, I guess then that either begs one of two things. Either the Ala Mhigans have to know that if they're hiding the face from us, but she's not hiding her face from them, so they could see her as someone who knows the ins and outs and can get in there. Or the turban's covering it over her forehead still. They have no idea, and they're just there. And I have no idea why they're hiding her face still. Either that, or she's horribly maimed after LB3ing.
That's possible as well. That her face is just fucked up.
Yeah, like
from her own LB.
Yeah, she fucking limit breaks so hard.
But why would Papalymo be okay then?
Because he was behind her. He was standing off on the side. He was busy casting.
That LB took out everything.
Yeah, I mean, it made us believe they killed themselves in the crossfire. They tried to make it seem like they killed themselves in the crossfire, even though they said, "Yeah, we're not gonna die here." They even said it, like, this is nothing." Oh well, I'll say, I don't know. I'm still excited to see like a tip or a hint towards Ala Mhigo, even though we've kind of already known it's one of the remaining city-states that we don't have control of. Ishgard now that we have control of that. So, with that, there's one last thing in the main story. One final thing that was mentioned in the post cutscene in a single word. The triad. One word. They said triad once.
One time.
Yep.
My original theory is the Ascians basically wanted to pull a Final Fantasy VI and disrupt the warring triad to bring about some sort of umbral calamity. That seems to be moving forward a little bit because the triad changed this patch.
Yes, they did.
The moss. There's moss growing out of the triad now.
It's not just moss. It's not just moss. You look at their surfaces, and they were sort of like gilded, kind of some kind of plate metal, like gold or something.
Yeah.
And they're turning into bark.
Oh, so X-Death, the tree. So that's the tree. Got it. Final Fantasy 5 and 6 combined.
Here's another one. Here's another one for you, and I haven't quite joined the dots here yet, but it's sort of rattling around in my head. With a sightseeing log, the cathedral you see at Slyh, that is apparently Mericidian, but it's not draconic. It was built by a race of sentient tree creatures that were native to Mericidia, and the Allagans decided to basically lift it up to Azazlar to preserve it and study it. So the fact that you've got that, and you've got the warring triad seeming to turn to bark at the moment, there might be some link to the maybe they're Mericidian primals. That would explain why Alag was involved with them.
Yeah.
It could be that, they dealt with the dragons, and then suddenly they're like, oh shit, there's tree people and there's more primals.
Tree.
Like I say, I haven't quite joined the dots yet, but there's definitely something to that. There's something going on there.
Well, glad to see there's a lot of dots that are actually... See, that's the thing, though. They originally made it seem like the Triad was part of this side story quest. They pulled it back into the main story. The side story quest being the Gods of Eld side story quests with the extreme primals. Is that going to come to fruition? Is that going to be sort of a further sort of backstory to the Triad, or is that going to be used as some sort of means through which we have to discover what's going on in the main story? Because it's really odd to have it in two different places, which seems to be where they're going with Krile too, to have it in two separate places.
I think the point of that side story with the extreme primals is just to give us a reason for the extreme primals, rather than putting in the main scenario quest, and like they did through 2.0, having to do all of the the political bullshit and all the cutscenes, and this is why they're summoning them again. It's literally just all of these primals want a shot at the warring triad. They all want a shot at that big juicy melon of ether, and that's all that we need to say about it. Okay. So they're never going to get it, and that means we can deal with the warring triad in the main scenario quest at the same time.
You have answers to everything, don't you, Ethys?
He does.
That's why that's why we bring him on to these. So you can make our theories look shit, and his always look fantastic because they're always so well researched. Well researched is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm just picturing one of Ethys's walls in his room.
Like, he's got the conspiracy wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got the FBI wall. Yeah.
Seriously, put that wall behind you.
In the middle.
Every patch. No. I want it to be the wall behind you. Every patch, I want to see like new pieces of paper on that wall, and don't explain them. Let everyone in the chat see the new like connections being made.
That's fun.
And try to like figure it out when you come on the show for the patch.
So who do you think's at the center of the web, Sly?
Who's the puppet master?
Who's the puppet master?
Yeah.
Don't. Come on.
I was going to say a block of fucking cheese.
The goblins?
Yes.
Oh, we'll have to find out, won't we?
At the center of the web is just a recipe for cheese.
Yeah.
That's what it comes
That's it. It all comes back. That's what the Asians are after. That's what the goblins are after. That's what the Moogles are after. They want picnic baskets for the cheese. There you go. Come on, you got to give us an answer, Sly.
I couldn't say.
I know it. After being introduced to the idea, I think Orion J is at the center of the web. After, if anyone's at the center, I think Ethys' theory most holds true. It's either him or Alice, or Minfilia. I think it's got to be one of those three.
I really hope it's Minfilia because
it would make her character.
Xavier, she's Professor Xavier.
But I don't think it's a.
But what the fuck is she doing then? If that's not her, where the fuck did she go?
The only reason I can't say is because the only reason I can't say because I don't think it's a character we've met yet, or it might be a character that we know. No, not even. He's dead. Leave him dead. Right. I want to say that it's an Asian. It's an Asian that we don't know, but it's a person we know.
Oh, so somebody under the influence of a dark crystal, pretty much. Cool, because that brings up Elidibus's history.
Or they've been under the influence of the Dark Crystal the entire time, and we just didn't know it. Or they had a good...
Similar to how Thancred operated back in A Realm Reborn until, like, about 3/4 of the way through it. I mean, Elidibus's character has always kind of been, like... If you don't know how he operated in tactics, he was basically under the guise of a mortal for a very long time. Until you finally encounter him and you find out just exactly what he is, where he is. But he looks completely human until you encounter him. And that leads, and with the Ascians always kind of hiding behind a mask. It's hard to tell what they'll really be like, behind that mask at the end of the day. So there is some merit to that. There's always the chance that Lidibus is playing a role in the story that we don't know that he's playing. Because he's, at this point, I don't give a fuck about all the other Ascians. It's all about Lidibus at this point. He is the center of it all.
I agree.
There's nine other Ascians, I think, left that aren't dead. There's 3 that are dead, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dead. We are assuming that what we did worked. And that also the one...
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
The only thing I've seen is people...
Science checks out.
The only thing I've seen people argue is that when La Habrea was sucked into the eye, like when Nidhogg dies, that he may be set free of any kind. I don't think so. I think he's gone. He's done so.
Yeah.
So, holy shit, that was a lot of main story. For it took us as long to talk about the main story as the main story was. It took us longer, I think. We were able to draw more conclusions about it than its actual length. And we still didn't touch upon there's a bunch of things we still got to touch upon, small little hints. Overall, ignoring the length, what would you give the main story? We did this last week, but after this conversation, give it a rating. What would you, if you had to talk about this with other people, what kind of rating would you give this patch's main story?
Ethys, since you're our guest and lore man, I'll let you go before me.
Oh, fuck, how I
He
feel
doesn't
about
like
ratings.
grading.
Jesus. I don't like
All right,
rating it. I enjoyed it. It was good.
All right. I was gonna say you can give me either very bad, good, great, wonderful. That's your grading score.
That's his rubric.
Good. Okay. So it got a C.
It was good because it gave me lots of material.
There you go. Sly. So you give it a 7.3.
I was about to say.
I knew that was coming. I already see it in the chat too.
And Mike gives it a.
I was, you know, it was funny. I was gonna name this episode. Episode 38.3. I was seriously considering it.
Fuck. I give it an 8. I give it an 8.
An 8. Okay.
Barring any like length, the length of the story of the main story and whatnot, I give it an 8.
I give it a 7.5.
We're using decimals now, huh?
Yeah, but I did 0.5 last time because 0.5 is a normal fucking decimal, not 0.3.
Come on. I'm not even gonna bring this up. Go ahead. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Oh, you guys are.
Oh man. So anyway, only because it didn't touch upon some of the things I really wanted to see, like Ethys brought up with the Garleans, for example. I didn't like the way the Dragon Song War specifically evolved in this patch, as much as I liked the questions that it brought up. But I liked Krile. I liked the Warrior of Darkness. I was a fan of Thancred's resurgence. I was a fan of learning about all those characters and seeing their actual character development that they never got in all of A Realm Reborn, pretty much, including Y'shtola and Alphinaud. Humor, characters, all good, just didn't like the way some of the directions went. I'm taking away quite a few points for that, only because I wasn't fully satisfied at the end of it.
You still got a fucking 0.5 out of it.
Yeah, 0.5. It didn't take a whole point, it took half a point. Didn't take 0.7 of a point.
Okay.
What model number are those headphones? Are they like an 8.3? They have Dolby 8.3 in them? 7.5.3.
They're Olympic scores.
Yeah,
if the Olympics can do it, I can do it.
From when you
Can I get a quote for that? Can somebody tweet that quote out? If the Olympics can do it, I can do it. Can somebody please quote that and put it on Twitter and tweet at us all? And do hashtag SOTR or hashtag DreamNetTV, please. Please do that.
If you look at figure skating and you see all the scores, they are point something.
Now I know what you watch at the Olympics. Got it.
Okay.
Sly loves figure skating. Confirmed. All right, well, guess what? We still only did half of the show so far.
Damn.
I guess that depends on how long this part takes. We got to talk about the Void Arc, which was really, really well implemented for its first appearance. Like, this is how impactful Alexander should have felt when we were introduced to him. And as much as I don't doubt Alexander's going to get better, the Void Arc was just so much more interesting.
Well, when we were complaining about Alexander, like, a couple of months ago, we were basically saying, well, it kind of loses impact because it wasn't hinted at before because there was nothing sort of leading into it. I mean, we didn't even have a name for the Miyachi before 3.0.
Sorry.
There was like a Miyachi-shaped hole that, what are we giggling at?
Yeah, he likes skating. Have you seen him twirl? Have you seen that GIF?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I had to make sure.
Yeah.
I was dying over that. It makes so much sense because now I picture him in a tutu, and it's beautiful. I can't wait till I do something that Sly has like way better than just be forgetting my name. I can't wait to see Sly go off on me.
Yeah, you don't fuck up nearly half enough.
Oh, I
It's no
do.
fun.
Sly just doesn't.
It's no fun.
Sly just doesn't pick up on it enough.
Well, that's because he can't see you. It's not fair.
He
just look at this
he
fucking
watches the
grumpy
stream.
face.
He watches the stream alongside of it, so he can see. He just sees it 20 seconds
yeah.
later. I know that because whenever I mess with him, he's, we love you, Sly.
I know.
We actually love you, especially Ethys. That's why he shared a box with you.
Yeah.
Actually, you shared your box
Yeah,
with him. You love him.
We're box brothers.
Yeah,
That's
you're not box men. You're box brothers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Zodiark.
box man, you open up the box and it's got Sly and Ethys snuggled up.
And that's another thing that someone needs to Photoshop over on Twitter, please. I know some of you can do it.
Zodiark.
Yeah, change the topic.
So we've got the Miyachi. And like you're saying, it did have like this really powerful impact, even though, like Alexander, there wasn't really much leading into it from A Realm Reborn. So you're right. That's how you open a story. It was fucking awesome. It was great.
I also love that leading up to it, we had that arc out in before we even knew the arc. Like it was something people were talking about. Just this ghost ship. It's as much to them in the game, the characters, a mystery as it was to us when we first started spotting it as actual players.
UFO. What the hell is this?
Yeah, like that's a very good way to throw in a story, similar to the way they're doing the triad right now. It's nice to see those changes before they're relevant.
So do you think from here on in terms of like any new story elements or anything, we'll see kind of little nods at it first throughout the world through
I think it makes its impact on the world more relevant.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't. I mean, eventually Ed is going to come back and we're going to say the same thing. Oh, yeah, fuck, they did that really well.
And they did because
they're planning things far enough ahead.
Yeah, because her ghost, isn't there a ghost in Idleshire too? People have been talking about a ghost lady in Idleshire. I know
news to me.
I know Edda's ghost occasionally still appears in the cities.
In Gridania.
Yeah. I remember somebody mentioning a ghost in Idleshire as well. I'd have to have somebody actually confirm it for me because I haven't noticed it. But some people have mentioned it to me that there's a ghost.
So she just left.
No, not an Edda ghost. Some sort of different, a different ghost. And some people think that the friggin' little kid is a ghost too. That's why she's not there all the time. I don't think that's the case. There's one in the Pillars too. There's a ghost lady in the Pillars as well, apparently. Assuming that that's true. But like things like that just make the world more exciting. I love those things.
Yeah.
So it starts off with a bang, the Zodiark. It literally starts with Leofard, the new main character, since we're not following with Noah, even though it's an arc. He just shoots 3 people and kills them because they had poor etiquette as sky pirates. That's a way to assert your dominance in the story. I liked it. He's a much better machinist than most of the Duty Finder. That's for damn certain. But after that, we kind of just go it's right to the sky pirate island thing out in the Diadem somewhere. Which, by the way, I want to go to the islands that Leofard's going to because his Diadem loot is way better than mine. If you've seen his friggin' trophy room, I don't know where he got all that.
Straight up gold.
Not even gil. That's the odd thing. He's got gold. That's like how gold and the dollar operate with like our treasury.
I just want that to be a personal housing option. Having a little island.
Make it like WildStar. We just have our own little floating island right off there.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool. Well, I don't know. Maybe if we can't build them in Ishgard, we just go build them out in the Sea of Clouds. Fuck it.
Yeah. Why not?
Sure, I'll take it. We just get wind crystals. And that's it. Floating island. We'll make them ourselves. We don't even need to wait. So, what do we think about Leofard? Just talking in general, since he was the first major character introduced.
I mean, he's a true to form pirate. Leofard is just
he's a pirate.
He's a pirate.
That's all there is.
Point blank. Like, he's a true to form pirate. He does what a pirate does, what you expect a quote unquote good pirate to do, I guess. But he's your classic anti-hero. He doesn't have a good side or a bad side.
He's just fucking Han Solo. Like, he's an archetype, and there's nothing to it. Like, he's a cool character, but he's a very, very shallow, two-dimensional character.
And he's just in it for the
loot.
loot.
He's going to stay there.
Does that make him easier to follow? Well, the only reason I think he may not remain too shallow is specifically the image of his late wife or girlfriend or fiance or whoever that is behind him. Kind of like he's kind of more like a wolf in sheep's clothing, kind of where he hides the real him under this guise of being this pure sky pirate, where he actually has this I don't want to say emotional side, but it's him moving past what he was in a past life.
Like I say, that's kind of like Han Solo, you know? It's the pirate, like you say, with a heart of gold. He pretends that he's only in it for the money, but is actually just like a top bloke. I don't think that really makes him much more interesting a character.
I'm going to open this video and keep it on the side. Someone posted a ghost of Bloodshore.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I want to see as many of these ghosts as possible. I don't know. I think that there's more to him than we're seeing. I think that for his introduction, he's simple, he's easy to follow, he's easy to like.
Yeah, exactly. And that's important.
What about Red Leah? His counterpart, his villain, his actual sort of adversary that we're introduced to very briefly. Just another pirate?
Yeah. Not that interesting.
Not that interesting?
So
how did we say this was good and now all of a sudden we have nothing interesting to say about it?
I mean, the character itself of Red Leah isn't that interesting, but the conflict between them is, if you get what I'm saying.
Okay, I think that's fair enough. So he establishes he has this conflict with another legion of sky pirates, and that he's the best one. Like, no matter what they all say, he is the best sky pirate out there.
Right.
I thought it was funny because he brings you there to say there's a ghost ship, and we've heard stories. We got to figure out how to get there. Again, pretty much kind of simulating us as players the way we kind of saw the Void Ark before we knew what it was. I like that he says it's probably just another Allagan ship with almost like how everyone's just like, yeah, it's probably just a fucking Allagan ship. You know, Square Enix just does Allagan shit all the time. It's the exact same thing.
Like
he even says he's collecting tomestones.
Yeah. Yeah, he says this would be a nice change to collecting tomestones.
I thought that was that's what I like about him though. Like he's breaking that fourth wall in a way that we always do. Like we are the fourth wall, and he speaks to us. He's like, "Oh, you're right. I don't do Void Ark for tomestones. You're right. I feel the same way because there's no way I would ever do that for 20 tomestones." Speaking of which, then, how do we find tomestones on the Void Ark if it's not Allagan? Nothing.
It's Miyachi. So
Miyachi. Maybe they fabricated it from a little bit of Allagan that they found. Anyway, so we fight through the Void Ark. There's bad shit going down. All this evil stuff. You got coffins. You got whatever the manta ray was for. I still don't think that.
Ethys.
I don't think Ethys really had he just felt like a sky manta. Like he didn't actually have some sort of impact to the Void Ark.
The King of
No,
Storms
I think it was just like a scavenger.
Yeah. He didn't match with any of the other enemies in all the Void Ark after you actually go inside.
So you think he
was just like a Sea of Clouds thing, not a Void Ark thing.
Yeah,
so
and there was a shit ton of him.
for the ride?
Yeah, there was a shit ton of Cetuses out there. Like,
yeah.
There's flying over the thing, and then he was just breaking it apart for no reason at all, it felt like. But all of a sudden, boom, Diablos. You see him for 2 seconds in the instance, and he's like, "Hey!" Oh, where'd he go? And then you're like, okay. And if you
Diablos had better shit to do.
Yeah, if you skip the final cutscene and you just saw Diablos for those 2 seconds, and you're just like, well, what the fuck? Where did he?
If you skip the final cutscene, you're a fucking idiot.
I was gonna say the same thing. That final cutscene where they showed Diablos at his true power, that was a sight to see. That was what I wanted to see. I think that's what people wanted to see out of Diablos when he was introduced in the Lost City. So he regained his power. He's not a weakling anymore that can only be taken on by 4 people. I guess I still didn't expect him to get that strong. per se.
Really?
I didn't know how to. We had no way to gauge what his true strength was because he was sealed away. You have to imagine that. I don't know.
But I mean, in terms of like story impact, he's always been a pretty big deal through the Final Fantasy series. You know?
Did you play Final Fantasy VIII? I'm a dude in a lamp.
Yeah, but he was a fucking hectic dude in a lamp.
He's like, why are you here in my lamp? If you beat me while I'm in my lamp, I'll come out of this lamp. I love lamp. That's pretty much all it was. Like, he had no impact on the story. Although, I don't know, Type 0, is he in Type 0? Was he in Type 0? What? He was in another Final Fantasy.
No.
Diablos isn't in Type 0.
He's in another Final Fantasy and has more impact in it. I can't remember which one it is, though.
Was it...
I'm Googling it right now. I don't give a shit. We're in the middle of the show. We gotta have our information. Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy 11, of course. He had a huge impact in 11. He was in 12. He was in Revenant Wings. He was in 13 as a concept. He was in Type 0. Diablos appears in Final Fantasy Type 0 as a Vermilion Bird Eidolon. He is obtained by completing Chapter 7 Expert Trial, Operation Dragon Slayer.
Oh, okay. So he's kind of like he is in Final Fantasy VIII then.
But you don't...
Yeah. You know, he's not part of the story. He's just
a summon. And how many times I used the Vermilion Bird, I can count on like one hand.
In Final Fantasy XI, though, he was one of the 5 terrestrial avatars alongside Bahamut, Carbuncle, Fenrir, Phoenix, and himself, because he's the 5th one that I was about to name. Was the ruler of the dream world known as Dynamis, aka Diadem. That's why he's back. And appears as a character and boss in the Chains of Prometheus storyline. So, that's the only game he has any impact, in other words. And of course, in the other Final Fantasy MMO, he has to have an impact. So this is his impact. So based on his strength that he shows there, where do we kind of put him on the Void Sense scale that we spoke about in the one Air Zivia?
The Charlene one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're the ones that define that. You know, the people that encounter him. So it's really up to us. I'd put him at the top.
So when you say top, do you mean alongside Cloud of Darkness or above Cloud of Darkness?
No,
alongside Cloud of Darkness.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, we're going to get to fight him probably as a 24-man boss where he'll be a complete joke and his power will be completely underrepresented. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about 24-man bosses. They're like, okay, well, that's cool. He's got a lot of health. Beat his ass. I just don't want 23 other people opening doors. I don't know about you guys. I don't trust them.
Me either.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
No. We're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna even see the door mechanic in.
I think we'll see something that mocks the door mechanic. Like, yeah, remember doors there? Like, maybe he'll do something with a door, but it's not going to be memorize these doors, and you need 4 people each to activate them or something. So, when he's in there, he just shatters. You just get to the last room, and you're like, cool. All right, we'll get the loot. And he shows up, and he just destroys the chains around this giant coffin. And he takes it to the void, and Kate Sith or Kochi is like, let's get the fuck out of here, because shit's going down, and I need to explain to you guys what's going on. Okay, I know Ethys is smiling. He's like, that's not what happened, but let's just humor me a little bit. So Kochi explains what that coffin is. Queen Skathak, or Skathak, I believe it actually is. And it's her and her Bella Void Scent were used to power the airship, similar to the way the Allagans used Bahamut for Dalamun. And the power was so great that it took all of the Miyachi mages aboard to seal her and everything else, and only Kochi is remaining.
Well, they had to sacrifice themselves. They
flat out sacrifice.
They built the thing. They got it in the air, and then they realized that they couldn't contain her properly, and they had to sacrifice herself They had to sacrifice themselves to reinforce the seal.
Yeah.
Like you say, leaving only Kochi.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and then Diablos came.
And then we said, more importantly, it directly makes the Lost City of Amdapor canon, as opposed to a side story quest, which I thought was odd. I mean, granted, Void is also a side story quest, but almost with him, you'd expect for Lost City to be a mandatory prerequisite, so that it makes sense to everybody seeing this guy for the first time. He broke free from Lost City when we went in there. He regained his power at the Void Ark, and then that's it. Then he took the queen back to the Void, which you'd think would mean that nothing's wrong.
So in a way, is this kind of our fault?
Well, I think that he was freed. Before we got there, I think we just got there and it kind of culminated.
I think it was another case of him being freed by the results of the calamity. I threw out a theory, and it's like based on pretty much
absolutely nothing.
Is that absolutely nothing? Is that maybe Edda freed him, and maybe that's where she suddenly went from being a shitty level 10 conjurer to being some kind of hectic fucking void mage. That maybe she sort of made some kind of deal with the devil.
Pact.
Yeah. But again, that's not really based on anything. Anyway, it's happened. He's out.
He's out, and now the queen is basically free too. Like, she's not 100% free. She's still in the coffin, but come on. She's free.
Yeah, she's free. She's free.
That's the bottom line. And at this, I know you in particular, last week, you were dying that we didn't get to talk about Skathak and Cuchulainn.
Here you go.
Alright, okay. So, Skathak is a Scottish myth. A sort of warrior woman. She's kind of like the real sort of Xena. And she had 2 disciples. One of them, Cuchulainn, wielder of the Cobold, and the other one, another familiar name for a void sent, Hydaelyn, who we also know is still alive, given that we heard him sort of cackling on after the poor keep. So I think we can expect to see him again. So we've got the combination of these 3, which is no mistake, obviously. And we also got in the artwork for the Void Arc, we got this funny little tower, which some people were thinking maybe it's Annex Shrine or something like that. Now, Skathak traditionally comes from a place called Dunscaith, or the Fortress of Shadows in northern Scotland. And the way it's described by historians, based on the ruins that are still there, sounds remarkably like what the depiction we're seeing here is. So I think that what we're going to have is we're going to have to go into the void after her, and we're going to have to fight her on her home turf. And kind of like the World of Darkness is the Cloud of Darkness's little corner of the void. I think we're going to be moving through Dunscaith either as the next installment or the final installment of this whole, Miyachi, Umbral Calamity kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be really interesting. What I also thought was really funny fighting Cuchulainn, and it was the same thing with Cuchulainn in Final Fantasy XII. So Cuchulainn was the boss that is just absolutely disgusting and spewing acid and eating people and shitting them. So Cuchulainn in Irish mythology was basically sent away by the local lord of the land because he was too attractive, and all the men were worried that all of their wives were going to leave them for him.
Well, I'd say that they
So the
kept
Lord
that
said,
description pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So the Lord said, all right, you need to fuck off to Scotland, and you're going to train with this woman who's going to fucking kill you in 2 weeks. So I think that it's very conscious and very ironic that Square Enix keeps reproducing Cuchulainn as this really disgusting, grotesque, fat, vomit-spewing thing. I think it's great.
No, it's beautiful in some people's eyes, right?
Oh, it is beautiful. You're right.
Absolutely.
So what's this going to say of Skathak when we see her? If Cuchulainn is supposed to be, this really beautiful, really, amped up warrior, what are we gonna see with Skathak? Because I've already seen Skathak in another iteration in the Persona series.
Are you asking me whether you're gonna want to have a bust of Skathak next to you?
Next to your Karuna?
Not really, no. Because
not really is not a no.
Because you're like now Cuchulainn's supposed to be pretty hot, right? But he's not. So is Skathak gonna be hot?
That's how I heard it. And honestly, I was thinking that too, so I don't blame him.
I'm just saying, I've seen Skathak in another iteration as a Persona where she's actually
she's one of those really popular kind of figures.
Yeah.
So Castle of Shadows, is this the next place or is this the last place? And if it's the last place, where the hell is the next place? Or is it Dunscaith? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just somewhere that we've got to go eventually. Maybe there's going to be some sort of interim where she's sort of waking up and regaining her power in kind of a similar way to Diablos while we're dealing with something else. I think that Dunscaith would be appropriate as the final iteration. That would make sense to me. That would be awesome.
As the final one, or would we go to Dunscaith next and then to the Castle of Shadows once we've kind of...
Well, Dunscaith is the Fortress of Shadows.
Oh, that's the name of it
that's
in
the
Scottish?
literal translation.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, we still need a way to get to the Void unless we're going back to the Void Arc to use it again. Which to be fair, is sort of possible that we have to go back only because of the final development. At the very least, the Void Arc is going to appear. It's absolutely going to appear again. Mainly because Redlia and her crew are ready to go take it. Like idiots. So they're almost definitely going to fall under some sort of influence while they're there. Or just die horribly and we never hear from them again. I would like that.
So do you think in the next wave of the Void Arc or this storyline, wherever we go, we're going to have to deal with Redlia and her pirates under some type of void?
Yes, exactly.
Void
I think
control.
that they're gonna get corrupted and they're gonna get fucked up.
Like you saw what happened to Nero, right?
Yeah.
As he was kind of broken by the
like
Void.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. I think we need a way to the Void before we go to the Castle of Shadows. Is my
Yeah, and I
thing.
think that might be like the interim sort of thing.
Yeah, because I mean the problem is we know that the Void Arc can literally cut a hole through the Void, but it's a short-term hole. Like we'd have to cut that hole and go in. Like we can't just leave. We need a way in that also has a way out. The only place I can think of when we already closed it was the Crystal Tower. We had a way in back there. And I still don't know why they left a cliffhanger at the end of the Crystal Tower storyline, but I don't want to go back there. I'll tell you that much. I don't want that to be our way into the Void just for the sake of that.
We're gonna see Cloud of Darkness again.
Cloud of dankness. I can't believe I went a whole episode without saying the word dank.
You said it earlier.
No, I didn't. I
Yes,
never
you did.
said I never said dank today. I said it last week a lot. Like a lot. I didn't say dank earlier today though.
I promise you, I'll say dank in context in the next 5 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's a guarantee.
So, and also interesting. So the Tonberries evolved from, or if evolved, if that's the right word, from the Nims. The Amdapori, I don't know. They're something. They were people. But it looks like the Miyachi were cats.
They were people.
The Miyachi were cats?
No, the Miyachi weren't cats. No. Koshi was a familiar.
Okay.
It's like a little servant. Like Matoya's got her frogs and her brooms. Koshi was like that.
Okay. It's a damn good familiar. It's better than the frogs and the brooms.
The Miyachi were almost definitely Lalafels.
No wonder they ruined everything.
Here we go.
I am a Lalafell, all right? I don't want to be on that side of the fence.
That's self-loathing though.
I mean, all I gotta say is like, you can't deny the facts, right? Like, can't deny the facts when it comes to Lalafells.
Not a Lalafell hater. Again, everybody else, not me. Just saying.
No.
Denial. So overall thoughts on the Void Arc? Happy with its implementation? Happy with where it's going?
Yes, very happy. Looking forward to Scatha. Excuse me. I want to see who, because we're going to. I don't think Scatha is the last. Is the end all be all. There's something definitely behind.
Cloud of Darkness is the end, right?
No, not again. Yeah. Cloud of Darkness does have some involvement. I would like to see it.
Really?
No, I think that she's
Nah,
she's
I think
done
she's
and gone.
done.
I mean, if we're going back to the Void,
Yeah, why are they so obsessed with the Void on these side story quests? Is the 4.0 one going to take us to the Void again? Do we get to just keep finding out about all these Voids?
Really fucking big, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? The Void is also might as well put Shinryu and Omega in the next one then, because they're supposedly travelers of the Void. So is Gilgamesh. He's a traveler of the Void. He doesn't even know.
I still think we're going to see Cloud of Darkness. I mean, she did, after all, chase us out of the Void. Like, she kicked us out.
Well, she tried to chase us, and then you had I can't remember their names. I just keep thinking of Final Fantasy III, trying to remember their names.
The Alligans.
Yeah, the two Alligans. Their names are so simple too. Like they're like 3 or 4 letter names. I just can't. I keep wanting to say Ida, but I know.
Oh, it's Une and Doga.
Oh yeah, that's why it's the Doga. Doga made me think of it. I knew they both had really short
Une
names.
and Doga.
I kept wanting to say Ida because I was like, I know there's like I can't remember what comes before the though. It's Doga. Dog. It's got the dog.
Dog.
It's got the dog.
Inner and Doge.
Une and Doge. Can somebody please also Photoshop the picture of Une and Doga, but with a Doge face over Doga, please? There we go. What about you? What about you, Ethys? What are your overall thoughts on the Dank arc?
I'm more excited for this than I was for Crystal Tower in Labyrinth of the Ancients.
And who wouldn't
Definitely.
Labyrinth of the Ancients was pretty shitty. I'll give you that. Like,
I thought it was fun.
Fun. That's Is that above or below good?
That's beside good.
Okay. Just making sure, because fun. You did not. You're like, it was fun.
It could have been a lot better. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but objectively, it wasn't.
I just loved going back when they changed his name and hearing the explanation. Yes, Phlegathon, not Acheron. Phlegathon. What a way to retcon a fucking name change, right?
That was so unnecessary.
But I just called the new ones Phlegathons.
Yeah, it was so unnecessary.
I'm happy with the Void Arc. I was, again, edge of my seat while it was happening, especially the Diablo scene where you see his full power, where you see the Void Rift open. And I'm wondering the whole time, why are they flying so close to that fucking thing? So ballsy to just fly so close to the giant laser beam that cut a hole in reality, mind you.
My thing was the moon. That little huge ass back shot.
It created a spatial rift to the moon. It didn't take her to the void, took her to the moon. That's where the Castle of Shadows is, on the dark side of the moon. Is that where the void is overall? That's why it exists in real life. We haven't really explored it.
All right.
There you go. So those are the two big things.
Wait. What's your numerical rating?
My numerical rating, I give the Void Arc 9. I think that the story combined with the more interesting appearance of the bosses, the backstory that goes with it, is something that has real merit versus something that's just taken from another Final Fantasy. This was good original Final Fantasy content with all the flavors of a Final Fantasy title. This is what I want to see out of them. Original arcs coming out of the story. Not fucking having the Baldesions and the warring triad. Those are good and fun, and it's nice to speculate on them. But I love the original, something that defines 14 as its own universe and not just a recycling of all the other ones.
So you would be okay if Square just did not use any of its current assets that it already
has. Should absolutely do that, but I hate being able to tell what the story is 6 to 12 months in advance because they decided to drop a name or they decided to incorporate an entire idea behind something, like the Baldesions with Krile and Goluf, and then it being thrown into the void or wherever the hell it was, when it was destroyed. Because that's exactly like the arc of Final Fantasy V, with then the warring triad becoming a tree and them trying to upset all those things just point too much to the plots of other Final Fantasies. They don't feel as original, as opposed to it being like you have Biggs and Wedge in the game, or you had Jesse from Final Fantasy VII makes an appearance in the Magitech workshop. Like those are there, and you could be like, oh, okay, it's a reference to that. But this is literally like we're borrowing the story from another Final Fantasy, like Crystal Tower, or like the Triad, or the Baldesions and whatnot. I like to see this more developing of original characters, which I liked out of this patch for Thancred, for Y'shtola, for Alphinaud. And for the Warriors of Darkness, even though they're not an original idea, they're an idea that's been expanded upon a little bit across the series. So a 9. 0.3. Anyway, so there we go. I would actually give it the 0.3. I would do that. I'd say it was worthy of a 9.3. So there are some other story elements here. So things such as the sightseeing log, as you mentioned earlier. We have the new dungeons. I don't know if you have anything on that at this. I think only Saint Mocianne's would have anything at all.
Well, Mocianne's was interesting. It was a little bit more than what I was expecting. Again, we call it an arboretum, and an arboretum is basically just a botanical garden for trees. Yeah. There's obviously so much more going on here. So we've got different areas. We've got telmatology and aeromology for 2. The first being basically a study of marshes and swamplands as an ecosystem, and the second being a study of deserts as an ecosystem. So it seems to be some sort of like
research facility.
Yeah, but also like some kind of like simulation. You know what I mean? Like it's not purely just here is a collection of trees. They're doing sciencey stuff with it, which is cool. The other thing that was interesting was the reason we were sent there was the denizens of Idleshire basically needed some dank weed.
That's what he said in the next 5 minutes. He promised us in the next 5 minutes there would be a reference.
But I mean, like it was such a, I don't know. I was expecting to be in the main story. I was expecting Matoya to say, "Oh yeah, there's something in there that you need to go and fetch, and it's really important to my research or whatever." But they were just like, "Nah. We need some seeds. We need to grow some kush and sell it."
Like Shrek.
So, yeah,
exactly.
Pretty much
like dank Shrek.
Shrek.
The internet is a wonderful place for things like this. Can we put that? Can patch 3.2 be the dankest weed as the name of the fucking patch name?
I reckon we're going to get to 3.2 and the whole of like the outside of Idleshire is just going to be fucking greenhouses. and
I thought he was going to say that I thought he was going to say the wildlife in the arboretum was going to expand and he was going to have something meaningful to say. Nope, he just thinks that they're going to turn it into a weed farm.
So it's all going to be greenhouses, and all the goblins are going to have an extra little attachment to their masks, and they're just going to be vaping like all day. And Idleshire is going to be like a much better place to idle than it is now. So looking forward to 3.2.
You got to go to X4 Y20 in Idleshire. That's where the next quests are going to be. These dank memes are never gonna end. Can't handle it. But do you think we'll ever find out more about who Saint Mocianne actually is?
That I've been absolutely tearing my dick off trying to work that out the last couple of days. I've been like trying to work out if there was a Catholic Saint Mocianne or something like a Saint Mocianne, or in any sort of tradition that's been like a patron of botany or farming or whatever. And I can't see the name anywhere else, so I really don't know.
I'm under the assumption that maybe he or she was a Charlayan scholar, and that this was their research facility. This is where they.
Yes. That's the most common. That's for her. That's for her actual in-game. But like almost everything draws some sort of inspiration from some sort of background. It could be, like I said, something completely original, but that's unlikely with Square Enix.
Well, the thing that interests me is that we've never heard of a Charlayan saint before.
Yeah, and someone in the chat pointed out that saints are pretty much reserved for Ishgard. I don't know if there is an actual sainthood in there. But...
Far, yes. Yeah. All the original knights are saints in Ishgard. But so it's really weird. The Charlayans, like, they're pragmatists, you know, they're scientists. For them to think of someone as a saint... I don't know. Maybe they're borrowing on some other tradition. Maybe it's not even like a Charlayan name originally. I'm really, really curious, and I'm frustrated that we didn't get an answer for that in the sightseeing log. And I think it's going to be another one of those things like the Sins of Sasimo. It's just going to be one of those names that no one bothers explaining to us.
One day we'll find out what the Sins of Sasimo are. And
well, they keep saying that.
Well, yeah, he does. And then also, I mean, with Ferris Aries, it pretty much just bomb Cena at the bottom, so there's like nothing special about that when it comes to...
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that we saw the 8th Order Cobolds, which is like a magnitude above any other Cobolds we've ever seen. Yeah. So whatever it is that they were planning, it's obviously like, you know, it's super important. So for those of you who don't know, haven't done the Cobold Beast quests, the Cobolds are sort of ranked in order of importance of their orders. So the first order is the ones that have the most land, they're the most successful, they do the most mining or whatever. To give you some idea, Ugamaro Mines is controlled by the 59th order. Our friends for the Beast Tribe quests are like the 7.
They're the lowest possible.
Yeah. They're like 700 or 800 down. So that 8th order getting involved in something like this, it's obviously a big deal. I think it was cool to see the kobolds in the dungeon because we haven't seen them before. And I'd really love to learn more about the kobolds because I feel like out of all of the beast tribes, they're kind of the ones we probably know least about at the moment.
And also, amongst the First Order has to be their absolute leader, I'd imagine. I'd imagine the First Order is capable of issuing commands to every order underneath
Yeah,
it.
every order above is capable of issuing commands down. That's why, there it is, the 789th Order. That's why that they're constantly being pushed around by the people at Ugamaro because they're sort of subservient. But the thing about whoever's in the First Order, they don't necessarily stay in the First Order. If you're like mining more resources than the people in the First Order, you get bumped up to the First Order.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they call the shots. There's going to be someone important up there. I don't know. I was surprised that we didn't find more about what they're up to and that we didn't get a follow-up. You know, the Maelstrom have chased them down the caverns, and what do they find? I don't know. I'd like to find out.
Bomb Cena. That's what you find there at the bottom. You have, the second one is Bomb Cena. The first one is not Bomb Cena because that's Mom Bomb. The second one is, I believe, everyone said the second one is a guy and the first one's a girl just because of the names, I believe.
Would it be because of the color, though?
Yeah, color. The blue flame, to me, the blue flame is hotter. Like, it's whatever to me.
So it's got to be a dude.
No, but I mean, like, that's the only relevance that their color has to me is the heat of their flames. Like, it doesn't have relevance to the genders and whatnot. I'm just curious about the Beastmen at this point. Like, there's obviously still a top tier order for every single Beastman we have yet to explore, and I want to know what's going on with the top of their order. That's it.
Well, a lot of them aren't even in Eorzea. I mean, the Mamaljar, they've only got a token presence in Eorzea.
Yeah, they have their Final Fantasy XI ripped off counterparts. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got the new world.
Yeah, pretty much. So St. Mocianne's, we talked about Pharos for whatever it was. The sightseeing log. Is there anything in the sightseeing log of interest that you feel is relevant?
I have done.
Well, he has though. Like at this point, I'm asking Ethys questions, and we get to talk about it afterwards because he knows way more than we do.
Of course.
Other than the whole thing about the cathedral in Azazlar and the fact that those ruins that we've been wondering about in Azazlar seem to be Mericidian in origin, they seem to be from a Mericidian beast race that are basically like treants or ants or something. That's really interesting. I want to see where that goes. I still want to know why they've got the symbols of Azima, the sun goddess, all over them. Because a lot of people were noticing like that those are the same assets they use in the Temple of Khan, and they're like, why the fuck are those up there? Khan's, Belladine and Miyachi originally. So people were thinking recently, how the fuck could there be like Miyachi ruins in Azazlar when Alig is much, much, much older than Miyachi, and there's a much older beast race apparently worshipping Azima in Mericidia. Not even in Eorzea. So that's interesting. I want to see where that goes. As for the rest of the sightseeing log, I'm sure there's other stuff in there. I haven't really poured through it properly yet. But yeah, I was super disappointed with the sightseeing log in 3.0 because it told us absolutely nothing that we didn't already know, that we couldn't already know from other places. So what I'm hoping is that they've decided that they're, even if it's not every patch, but they're going to like keep drip feeding us lore through the sightseeing log.
It's not a bad way to do it. I don't think it's. I think
it's a great way to do it. It's also such an easy thing to do.
Now it is.
In terms of patch content, it's so fucking. No, I mean in terms of the development side of things.
Yeah. You write lore. You say where are we gonna put this lore here? Okay. Yeah. Boom. Look out.
Stick it in a random place in the world.
Yeah. They don't have to create any assets.
Well,
it's a place in the world where you can see the thing.
Yeah, I understand that, but in the grand scheme of things, like in the grand scheme of things, when you're actually doing a sightseeing
it seems
log,
random as fuck.
It seems random as fuck.
Until you do it and then you read it.
Why the fuck do I have to jump onto this fucking light post? This specific goddamn light post.
You're talking about the 2.x sightseeing log.
Oh, okay, right.
Where literally you had that exact log post. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, so in the grand scheme of things, it looks like they're just picking a random fucking spot in the world. Stand here, look out. It seems random.
I hope that they keep developing the lore like this. And I want to see more things.
Let's hope they keep developing.
I think
The library had no books in it.
It had plenty of books, we just didn't read them.
The fucking books in the fucking library. My God, I was so mad about.
Complain
We were
tell
killing the books.
for Great Cabal hard mode.
I told them.
For the great Google Library hard mode. There you go.
Them.
It's Google. Come on, we should be able to search through things. I will say though, I do want them to continue. I don't recall seeing it in the 2 new dungeons. I like when they have the things like they had in in the Fractal, where you can stop and read them and learn about something that's going on.
Like that. They had stuff like that in the 2.0 dungeons. They had like notes and
no,
stuff.
But I mean in the Arboretum
dungeons.
and Pharaoh series. I don't recall the Arboretum having any.
No, the Arboretum didn't have anything like that. Yeah, that was conspicuous, actually. That's a good point.
I would like to see them continue to teach you about the new dungeons. I don't give a shit about the old ones. But, like, although the Tamtara one was done pretty well, that gave you Edda's backstory.
Yeah.
If it's got reason, I want them to do that.
Yeah, I think Tamtara was the best example of...
everyone fell in love. That was the first dungeon they did it with, I think.
Yeah. It's the best example of, not really throwing or shoehorning lore in there, but adequately putting lore within just a simple dungeon.
Yeah, and everyone, like you say, everyone fell in love with Edda.
Yeah.
It was great. It was good. Keep doing it. Don't stop doing it. Why'd you stop doing it? Put more books in the library.
And again, it goes back to this whole it was teased thing, and you just find out, like, people wonder, whatever happened to those 4 adventurers I ran into outside Sastasha? Who ever thought that was going to turn into this dark story of revenge and messing with the void? Like, that's such of something like, holy shit, that actually this is what happened to them? Like, when you realize that the realization was phenomenal.
And the awesome thing about that experience and realizing that they were receptive to doing things like that is that the second time I played through the story, I was constantly on the lookout for characters or little tiny snippets like that which could develop somewhere further on. And I reckon that's so awesome. It sort of gives people a reason to pay attention.
Yeah.
Flavor text. Yeah. Because I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit more about how the fuck Belladonna was made. It's fucking annoying. I wouldn't mind knowing more. Yeah. Or some of the experiments that went on in Saint Mocianne. Yeah.
Do you think Belladonna is Saint Mocianne?
Wow.
Wow.
Like Saint Mocianne.
That's heavy.
That's heavy. Like Saint Mocianne experimented on themselves.
Or
it's like some Dark Souls shit. Or
the plant life in there kind of took a mind of its own before they abandoned it, and that was a result.
Well, we see like the zombie bears, that
zombie. You mean the parasites?
The parasites.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, like that's
the idea that the wildlife was. Threat, right? Yeah.
Okay. It's just The Last of Us.
I think. Yeah.
Please, Square Enix, we need answers. We need to know who Saint Mocianne was, even if it's Ishgardian, Sherlayan, whatever. We need to know. And I say we, but Ethys is probably going to be the one to pay attention to it most. But he needs it. Koji, we're looking at you.
Come on, Koji.
We believe in you. We believe that the next one of these we have will be able to talk a lot about. I hope that the next time we have one of these, by the way, is not going to be in 3.2. It's going to be after 3.15, the Slythesquirrel.
Oh, yes.
The Slythesquirrel side story quest is being implemented alongside the anima weapons. And also we can get a glimpse at the anima weapons inspirations as well, and where they stand. A lot of people forgot the Slythesquirel side story quests were pushed back to 3.15.
Yeah, it wasn't even put in 3.1.
Even Ethys
I was
seems to
looking
have
out
forgotten.
for them. Yeah, I've forgotten. I was looking out for them, and I was like, oh okay.
In a reference, that's in December. 3.15 is in December.
I'm glad, like I say, I'm glad that they did, because it means that we've got more stuff to do in December, and we can kind of focus on the things now. And I don't know, I like having story sort of a month apart, like a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. I think that's a better way to do episodic story content than 3 or 5 months apart.
3 or 5? No, 4. Just 3 or 5. That's it.
Yeah. Well, those are the 2 options we've had.
Somebody says, I thought the Slythesquirel quests were what give the animal weapons. Could be. I don't think that. I'm pretty sure they've separated them as something different in the past.
Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Because they had their own tab in one of the earlier live letters where they said, we're going to get the Slythesquirel side story quests. We're going to get this. We're going to get that. And then, separately, we're going to get the animal weapons as well. And I believe there's a location in Ishgard specifically that is in reference to the Slythesquirel, where they're going to be located already if you go there. There's a zone in Ishgard also, a training zone that we've yet to use, I believe. There's a zone. There's a room you can go into that has nothing in it of relevance, but it's an actual zone on its own.
Are you talking about the one by the cathedral?
I think so. I'd have to go in. I think it's in the foundations. The classroom. There you go. You can go to the classroom for the Scholastic kit.
We're
okay.
talking about a different one.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, so you can already go there. So we have an idea of where we're going to be going. And then the only other thing I could potentially talk about is the Diadem. That seems that other than it just being floating islands, it's interesting that they rotate around a floating wind crystal. It seems they sort of revolve around it. But there's something interesting that happens there. Hyper-electricity weather can happen. The same weather in Az's Law. And it does actually spawn constructs, Allagan enemies there, Rafflesias, just like the Fate.
In the Diadem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the Diadem. There could actually, and you can get Proto-Ultima exoplatings in there too, from these Rafflesias. Do we think that Proto-Ultima's influence in some way is showcasing a little bit more? Because he kind of just wakes up, blows a bunch of shit up, summons a Rafflesia, and then leaves. That's all he does.
So he's traveling between like the Diadem and
well, he might not just be in Az's Law. I mean, you don't actually see him in the Diadem, but you see the result of the hyper-electricity weather, which is a result of Ultima actually being present in some way, shape, or form. So it's interesting.
Do you think he might be like a super rare spawn in the Diadem?
Well, some people are assuming because it spawns 9 Rafflesias, and there are 2- and 3-star enemies in the Diadem that people haven't been able to spawn. So I don't think any of them are Proto-Ultima, but there are enemies. There are still a lot of mysteries in the Diadem and regarding to what's located there and why it's there. Why are these dinosaurs there? You know, you can say whatever you want, like joking around. They were on fucking islands that had wind crystals at some point, and a calamity shot them up there. Whatever it is, there's more stuff going on with Proto-Ultima, I feel, as well. He's not done. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's won fate and that's it. And he's just like, fuck it. I don't know. I don't like it. I just want Proto-Ultima to be... I just want these fucking Allagan things to die so we can get away from them.
We move on.
Yeah,
you want to just move away from...
No, I want them to die so we can close it out, and then we can
Well,
just...
there can only be so many of them left.
That's what you fucking think. I guarantee you we find out fucking Garlemald is built on top of a fucking Allagan's fucking death ground at some point.
And then they've colonized other planets.
Yeah, like the moon. So it's not a planet, but I'll take it. Don't give me that face, Ethys. All right, I think we've covered a lot of fucking story today. Can I change the title of this episode to a lot of fucking story? State of the Realm 38.3, a lot of fucking story. Fine?
More story than they actually gave us.
Yeah, spend more time talking
how
about
we managed to pull so much out of it.
There's so much to pull out of it, there's just not a lot actually happening, like, there itself. It's all about what's going to happen later, which is kind of
like
how...
you say, that's about no filler, no bullshit. It's just, you know,
all
juicies.
All the juicies, just like it says on my Lalafel's subagar on the ass.
Yeah, we got it.
That's the second time I've said
Sly,
that.
you make that face, but you're probably going to have to be wearing that in a couple of months.
Hell no, he
No.
He's got to win first.
What's going to happen is I'm going to lose again.
By 1 point.
No, by 0.3.
Yeah, you're going to lose by... He's going to lose by 0.3.
You're going to do your fucking
0.3.
homework. That's all right. We'll get someone on to carry you.
Yeah, like, we'll get Adagio on your team again. How about we just get Adagio on your team again? He sure as hell pulled his weight. And I'll get Pook on my team.
Poor Adagio.
Poor Adagio.
And I'll get Pook on my team. We'll bring it back, because we won last time. We have to defend our title.
That's such an unfair team.
Oh, and we still need to do the one where we all team up against Ethys and do it to him and see, like, see if he knows.
Do it to me. Oh.
Yeah. That's so lewd.
Yeah. Fine.
There we go. All right.
Just find random shit that nobody else would know in Eortzia and just...
See, if I had quizzed him on Boxman, he would never have gotten that right. I should have saved that. I would have like, what's in here? What NPC does Boxman work for?
Or what's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? I explained what's in the box. I explained what's likely in the box. It's likely wine or some sort of alcohol.
Likely wine, but it's actually Ethys and Slyh.
Yeah, so we still need... I gotta check Twitter to see if we have any tweets about this. Oh, there's the... if the Olympics can do it, so can I. I like that. Oh, man. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the show, move over into post. I'm sure that this show probably ran pretty long for Ethys, especially because he's towards the end of his semester, so apologies, Ethys, as much as I know you love talking about it. So, let's wrap things up and move over to the post show. So, first off, let's have Ethys. Tell them where they can find you, my friend, when you are not falling off the face of the earth doing exams.
You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/EthysAsher. You can find me on Twitter, Ethys FFXIV, and my Twitch is Ethys Asher, I think, as well.
You look like
I'll
you
probably be
didn't.
streaming this week.
You look like you didn't know the answer to any of those three things you just said. You're like,
I don't.
It's there.
I don't. I
No,
don't,
but
like,
you didn't pull a mic though. You didn't pull a complete.
My
mic.
name is Mike, and
Mike, and
no, I said Michael Povorma. I said my
yeah.
full name.
Yeah.
All right, Sly. Tell them where they can find you, my friend.
Well, my name is Samuel Slyh, and
The third.
The third. Thank you. Forgot that part. You can find me on Twitch at Slyh, aka Greyfox, twitch.tv/Slyh, aka Greyfox. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyh, aka Greyfox. I can't speak. 07. And you can find me in Bohemian, Plot 14, Ward 5 of the Lavender Beds, home to the Foxhole.
Greatest strip club. Anyway, I am your final host, Michael, Mr. Happy Poveromo. You can find me everywhere, Mr. Happy 1227, except YouTube, where you could probably still find me there like that. But Xehanort 1227 is the official link. Fuck it, I'm just saying it's Mr. Happy. I don't give a shit anymore. Fuck it, it's Mr. Happy 1227. Whatever. It's you. If you Googled it, if you YouTubed it, that's what it would say. It's just not the official hyperlink. Ugh, technicalities. So the third. So I had a here's your sign moment, Sly. You know what a here's your sign moment is?
What?
When somebody says something
I know what it
unbelievable. Where it's like, so wait, was your dad named Sam too? And you go, nope, his name was Daniel. I just like the third on the end. Here's your sign. There we go. I like Bill Engvall. Get off my back.
Bill Engvall is pretty cool.
I like that guy. All right, guys, we're gonna head over to post show. So thank you everyone for joining us this week. We will see you next week, where we have a very special episode. We're going to have the community team for Final Fantasy XIV here on the show. That would be Colby Grekema, some of you may know him. We have Matt Hilton, Bayonne. We have Devin Cassidy, Kamate, and we have Reinhardt. And you guys, he did translations, guys.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, Reinhardt. Moving on up to the community team. So, hopefully you guys will be there, and there will be a very special giveaway at the end as well.
Ooh.
So you guys should be there for that, because it's going to be exciting. And you got to be there for the whole show, because you don't know how long the show is going to be. You don't know. Just remember to be there. So anyway, at this again, thank you for joining us. Let's go over to post show, guys. Say goodbye, and let's do it.
Bye!
Wacky waving inflatable arm moon man. You just made me flap those bingo wings.
See you guys. My bingo wings.
He was doing it after the show was already over. My bingo wings. Oh, and Frosty. Oh, Frosty will be there too. Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
I'm sorry. It's too late at this point to say it. No, fuck it. No, the show's still on. Frosty TV from Mog Talk's going to be there too.
Woo!